Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producer's here. Hello, Sam.
Hi.
I like your. I like how brown you are.
Yeah, I'm trying to get...
Good Lord, you're brown.
Trying to turn Florida football brown.
Yeah, well, it's red brown. Remember,
Yeah.
you got to keep an.
My fantasy football name is Pigskin Meemaw.
You got to. That is fair. Oh, you're on your way.
Yeah.
You're on your way. And oh man, you gotta though, and this is important. If you want to achieve true Florida red brown,
Yes.
you need to. The brown is the base. The red is the frequency that you go in the sun. Like now, that's how we know that you're still active in your garden, active on the beach, you know, taking the bike rides. It's red brown, everybody. It's not just brown. It's red brown.
You got to be constantly burning your brown.
Yes, burn your brown. What is brown burned for you?
Let's do some weird job.
All right. I didn't know we were going to put it under that category, but okay, here we go. Let's weird job it. Tom wanted to do a bit. He called it Weird Job Wednesday. Dan really likes it. Tom says that's bullshit. It's another Weird Job Wednesday. Oh no, the air's out again. What are you doing? What is your job? Are you neat? Are you tidy? Or are you a fat slob? Do you make lots of money and you sit up in your tower looking down on all the people who are working by the hour? It's a Weird Job Wednesday. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. It's embarrassing to sit through this with a guest.
I know.
I think it's fine.
It's just a look down.
I don't. I can't
It's like
look into his
EC3
eyes.
is here again, and I'm looking down at the ground.
Yeah, I can't look into his eyes. I have to look around, and he's like, because I know he's like, which one of them was singing this horrible song? And I don't want him to know it's me.
Why's it so long?
And then I had some old man write me last night, some radio listener. He's like, I just found your podcast from ACT. I love the Springsteen Weird Job song. Springsteen? That's what you think it sounds like? Effing Springsteen? Are you crazy?
Weird Job brought to you by Streamline Florida. If you want to get a cash out refi or any mortgage.
If you want to get a...
Did I sound like that? I'm sorry.
If you want to get the cash out refi.
Now in California, for any California listeners out there, Streamline California.
West is the best. The East is a beast.
We have the most professional announcer I think we've ever talked to in studio. Young Professor's here.
Young Professor.
What's up, guys? How are you? I got to say, I did love that intro. That song that was, and I could see it being a little Springsteen-esque.
Okay,
you know,
all right.
A little Atlantic City, a little, you know, like, it's maybe late Springsteen, not Born to Run Springsteen.
Okay,
late Springsteen.
all right. I'll take that. Tom, I'll have you know that this man is top banana.
I know.
We have, this is a big
He's
deal for
gone
me.
full banana.
Yeah, I'm super nervous even having this guy here. That's why I can't look at him because, well, I'll let you give a rundown of this gentleman's credentials.
Well, you have more jobs than I've ever seen, Matt.
It's busy.
Yeah. So, but
he is known as the Young Professor. Many of you that follow baseball might know who the Young Professor is.
Yes.
Or pro wrestling. I
Or
heard
pro
you say
wrestling.
EC3. I work with EC3 too.
Oh, don't
with
talk
Control Your
about it.
Narrative.
Yeah, don't talk about it. God forbid you talk. Oh, it's going to be bad for you.
So, Matt, let's start from the beginning and how you even became known as a young professor.
Well, I used to be both of those things. I used to be young and a professor. So that's kind of the short story.
Which is, I'm reading your bio, which is crazy that you started being a professor at the age of 25.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was never on my bingo card, if I'm being honest. I remember even when I got done with high school, like, all right, I guess I'll go to college because that's what you have to do. But then I'm done with school. And then I went and did my master's. I was like, I'm totally done with school. And it's funny, like in May is when you wrap up, college and recently on Facebook, you get those memories. And I saw a memory recently, like right before I graduated, like, I can't wait. I'm so glad I'm done with school forever. And I'm still teaching school here all these years later. So
Still now?
Yeah, I'm a high school teacher now, which is actually a better gig than when I was a college professor.
Is it?
I mean, it could be scary, some would say.
A little, but, I think that you see it, that risk is everywhere. So,
true.
It's all good.
And I think it's good that people that want to do it, like obviously you're there because you want to do it. My
Sure.
mom was a lifelong educator. I have nothing but respect and love for everybody out there doing it because it's some would say the most important thing. The most important job
For sure.
is teaching the future.
So, Matt,
Whitney Houston.
How did you start your announcing career? Because I want to get into that because it's a job that, when done correctly, looks easy to people or seems easy. It's kind of like anything. It's like when people when Tony Hawk is on the half pipe, you're like, well, that doesn't look that hard. He's so smooth.
Well, it's like when you also, it's one of those things where if you mess it up, they remember it forever. But if you do a great job, they'll never notice it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, like, and also, just to give a little bit of credentials here, you announce for the Savannah Bananas.
I do.
You announce for the Daytona Tortugas.
Yep.
Give me some of the wrestling organizations that you've announced for.
So right now, the list is a little shorter, but I do work with EC3 with Control Your Narrative.
Gotcha.
I do his commentary in post-production for
Gotcha.
that. I work with Ignite Wrestling down in South Florida.
Yeah, I know Ignite.
In Vero Beach.
Yeah.
I've worked with pretty much everyone across Central Florida at some point or another. And actually this weekend coming up in Jacksonville, the River City Wrestling Convention in Jacksonville, this is the third year in a row I'm hosting that. So I'm hosting all the panels.
I'm going to be there.
Are you really?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going there for a free concert. So I'll be in town.
Who's playing?
Flip Turn.
Oh, yes, you're right. You told
At
me
the
about
Riverview area. Yeah.
that. That's awesome.
Maybe I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Small world, man. Look at that.
So what was your intro even into the minor leagues and becoming, like an announcer that does so many different teams and wrestling and everything?
It's a weird story. When I actually had gotten let go from my teaching position, my professor job initially. I was teaching in Daytona, and they got rid of my program. So it got phased out, so I got phased out along with it. And I picked up another job in sales, which wasn't great, which left me with a need for some more money. And I actually started hosting live trivia in the Daytona Beach area. And that was something I had wanted to do prior to, but life kind of got weird, and I never got that chance. And I was a college professor at night, so that kind of eliminated that opportunity.
You know, my wife has said that if we ever got a divorce, that I would end up in Daytona Beach hosting trivia.
You know what? A lot of good can come from it, man.
She says that
There's
to
nothing
me
bad
all
about
the-
it.
She's like, you'll just be hosting trivia in Daytona Beach at the Shark Lounge.
Well, what's interesting is it
that
probably
still
gave
around?
you...
No, it's gone.
Man, I
Thank
used
God.
to love Shark Lounge. Oh, man, it's Dunkin'.
There's horror stories,
Oh,
yeah.
tons.
It probably gave you an insane amount of reps, right?
Yes.
And that's
it's
what you
hard.
need. Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah,
It's 2 hours in front of a live audience,
Yeah.
and you've got to entertain them in order to get, because that's what it's
And
about.
what I know about trivia, you always have the correct answers, and the audience is always respectful and doesn't debate you on whether or not you got it
Absolutely.
wrong.
That's
or whether-
Technically.
they're
Right.
wagging
Yeah.
the finger
Oh,
at you.
that's always the best.
But
technically.
But again, Tom is fascinated with reps. You put yourself in one of the hard. I hosted trivia for Big Belly for years for Real Radio when I was on the Monsters. I did it for I think like 4 years or 3.5 years. It was one of the most difficult things I've ever done, and I was literally glad to not be paid to do it anymore. It's so hard. So hard.
Yeah.
Because the people, everybody was a genius. Everybody had, technically you can't do that. Burr, burr, burr. Oh, this guy's phone, that guy's phone. So
But yeah, you get
put
all
yourself
that.
in a, almost an accelerated program for talking.
For sure. And that's what it became. And I started hosting 2 or 3 a week. So, and that's 52 weeks a year. So you do the math. You start picking up a lot of reps over time. And that was where people all the time would come up to me. And it was kind of even when we sat down on the microphone here before we got started. People were like, man, you sound really good. Do you do sport? They would ask me, at the time, the Tortugas were still the Cubs. Do you work with the Daytona Cubs? They would just ask me all the time, and it was always no. And I finally
we
went,
never get that, and we've been doing this for 20 years. That's why. Look, we just shouldn't be doing that.
I'm not even joking. Not one person in my entire life has ever said, you have a voice for radio, or you should do something else. Never ever.
His voice cracked. Yeah, is that what you're laughing at?
Never said.
has they ever said in 20 years?
Nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody.
I've never had anybody say it
I
either.
like
I've
your
had
voice.
people hire me for voiceover work,
Damn,
so I don't know
yeah.
what that
I
means.
have
I'm
done
just-
voiceover work, and people have never told me you have a good voice.
Anyway, so they started asking you about hey, you got a good voice, and have you ever thought about doing this? Although there is a leap between hosting trivia and then now sports announcing, because a lot of people forget about you have to know a lot about the sport and about the people who are playing the sport and their names, and pronouncing their names is hard enough.
And also in baseball, you have a higher concentration of Latin names you're going to be reading. And automatically, I feel like you and I are going to be nervous about that, right?
Well, see, it depends on which job you're talking about. So that's the job you're referencing is more of the PA announcer. and that's just the guy, the voice in the sky, the man in the box kind of thing. Whereas I have been hired as host on the field for all the in-game promotions, all the wacky stuff, all
so you
that
gotta be able
crazy
to roll.
nonsense.
You gotta be
oh
able to
yeah, like
roll,
it's
yeah.
live improv all the time.
And
like,
it
you
could
got a
go
plan.
bad.
It always goes bad.
And you got to be able to pick up the pieces and make
Yep.
something of the turd clay.
Make it good.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
polish turds all day, every
Yeah.
day, and make it fun
So
for people.
we've had to do a lot of this. Exactly what he's talking about were the reps that you and I had when we did like for Orlando City. We used to do that.
Yeah.
It is not fun. It's very hard.
I like it.
It can be
you know.
fun. Oh, I like it.
But yeah, it can be really stressful and rough too.
Yes.
But what I mean about even getting the players' names or stuff like that right is like every once in a while you'll be thrown a curveball and you'll have to, or someone will
like
hand
what you
you
did there.
hand you a sheet where you'll have to make some announcement with something. Like you have to improv a lot, and
There's a car
on
blocking the
fly.
loading dock,
Well,
and, the,
not even that.
and the team can't get in. You know.
Right.
But there's like you're expected, especially with you're with the team. We used to do this with Orlando City and stuff. Like
If there was bad news that needed to be delivered to the crowd, it was us.
there would be players and stuff. They would be like, "Oh yeah, here's a," like expecting us to know. I know his first and last name. Like I don't know his damn name.
Yeah, you're just showing up for the gig. Yeah.
And then it's like so, but you're wearing it. You work for the company, so they're like, you should know
Acuna.
You should know everything about the team and all the players' names. But you work for the team, don't you? You're like, no, yeah, but I'm the doing the goofy promotion. So how the hell do I? But
give me
people expect you to.
The
You have the mic.
novelty JetBlue check and let me hand it to the family.
Right.
But what was the first because there's always a first time, right? So did they throw you out to the wolves for your first
Oh my
time?
God, yes.
Okay.
I started in pro wrestling in Daytona.
All right.
Which it was a small school that doesn't exist anymore, but it was in South Daytona, and it was in an old antiquated mall. It was in what was the name of that mall in South Daytona? It's but it's right there, and it was literally a mall front store, which is ridiculous to say. But I walked in, and actually I had written it down. I had said, my wife and I were kind of writing down some goals, and people had told me that long enough, and I said, all right, I want to start doing this. I have no idea what that looks like. How
So you're
you start.
already married. You got a family.
Oh
at this
yeah, I've got
time,
4
and-
kids.
Oh, okay.
It's crazy.
So you're
I'm starting
already
life backwards.
You're an established human being, established professor. You're flipping the switch from professor life to now you're at the armory with the wrestlers.
Yep.
Oh man,
Yeah.
this is a good story.
Oh man, it's wild because it's backwards, right? Like usually,
It is,
people will
yeah.
do that stuff first, and then they'll settle down and all that. I
Sure.
did that first, and now I'm trying to balance all of it, and it takes a lot of energy. But I saw the school put something out. They said, we're looking for a new ring announcer. Requirements are you got to be available on Saturdays, and you can't suck. And I said, well, I'm available Saturdays. We'll see about the rest. But I've always been a pretty good learner. I've watched wrestling. That's been the sport that I've loved more than any other since I was like 10 years old. So I've really studied it, and I was like, I think I can totally do that. And I showed up, and they're like, yeah, just show up and we'll try you out. And I figure they're gonna like stick me in for like a match, and I'll do one. And I get there about 15 minutes before the show because nobody told me when to show up or anything.
Yeah.
And I'm in a blazer and a polo.
Nice.
My look has evolved since then, but. They're like, all right, yeah, well, we'll try you out tonight. Well, here's the whole card, and here's the guys, and we'll see you out there. And it was like 8 matches. It was like,
Wow.
And I didn't know any of these guys. I didn't know. I have never,
So
it's
you're
not
just
like
kind of going on the fly.
Oh my God! And you got to talk to them. They're all, you're in there with a bunch of half-naked, sweaty men that are just like talking to, and grizzled
threaten
dudes.
me with a good time.
And and you're just, hello, sir.
How do you
who
pronounce
are you?
your last name?
Yeah. And what city are you from? And what's your nickname?
I'm from
And-
parts unknown.
Well, yeah, you
Why
get all
is
kinds
that
of-
hard to say?
You get some wacky stuff, and then you just got to go out and make it good. And they handed me the microphone, and I went, and actually they paid me my first night, which I was not even expecting. And he said, "Can you keep coming back?" And so for 4.5 years, I
Must have
keep
been
coming
a
back.
relatively reputable wrestling thing if they were paying everybody and everybody got out unscathed.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Because I've been a
You
part of it
lucked
long enough
out,
to
man.
see
Yeah.
the tangled web that is professional
I've
wrestling. It gets
I've
interesting.
been to wrestling events before where we were asked to leave because the wrestlers found out they weren't being paid and they all left.
Yep.
So
Common.
why was
That's very common.
Yeah, why was the crowd still there?
Right.
Yeah, sorry, we're all leaving.
So how do you go from wrestling to baseball, minor league baseball?
So before baseball, it was arena football.
Okay.
And so I was working in Jacksonville. I got my professor job back, but at the Jacksonville campus of the college I worked for.
Did you announce for the Sharks?
I did. I became their on-field MC. And what's funny
Oh,
is...
you
I
work
might-
for Brett Bushy's brother.
I'm gonna have to hold Tom back because he was an Orlando Predator.
Yeah, but Bushy's brother
Yeah,
owned
owned
the
the
Sharks.
Sharks. Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff, right?
Jeff Bushy.
Yeah. Jeff was there at the time.
The
and-
bushiest of the bushies.
Yes.
He's at the-
But I emailed them.
Did
I
he
saw-
get banned from arena football too?
No, I think he left on his own accord. So.
I think they were like, get out of here. All right.
But I sent them something. They were looking for interns. I wasn't interested in being an intern. I was like, I don't know if you guys need an announcer or something, but I do this. I had literally done one wrestling show. And but they were like, okay, yeah, well, we'll come in and you can come talk to us. I went, okay, great. So I set up a meeting and I went in there and like, do you have any video? I had somebody in the crowd like take video of me, my only wrestling show. And they're like, yeah, you sound pretty good. Well, here's all the dates for the games. We'd love to have you. You could be our on-field host. I went, okay, that's great. And I walked out of there and went, oh my God, I can't believe that worked. And I did
Hold
2
on, are you
seasons.
saying arena football is flim flammery? Because I was not aware. I thought it was super professional.
I've thought
And
everything
they
I
all
do is.
know.
And it's what's interesting is, and you guys have probably seen this in your travels, like nothing is as put together as it seems for the
No.
most part. Like
Even the world,
it looks
some would
great
say.
to the outside world, but you get in and
Yeah.
you're like, where? This
Yeah.
isn't where I parked my car. This is.
Yeah, you could literally do anything in arena football. Like, I'm not joking.
Sky's the limit.
One time I met the commissioner and I was told
Jack Youngblood?
There-
Was it
just
Jack
all-
Youngblood at the time?
I was told that this is all for show.
Oh,
There is no
no.
commissioner.
The guy
we
with
make
the
all.
mustache.
Yeah, Bushy told me.
Yeah.
He's like, this is
That
just
guy was an actor.
This is just an actor we hired, so people think this is legit. I mean, this is a long time ago. So I don't know if it's
I remember that
changed
guy.
now, but it was ridiculous. It was just like they're like it's incredible that the games even happened. Like that they even had enough players to play the games, and they actually like finished. It's,
I ask people now, no one knows what held it together. Like it just
It seems some organizations are better than others.
Sure. Yeah,
Some
yeah,
can help. Like Jacksonville, I thought pretty much had their stuff together for the most part. They certainly had all their pieces in play, but we had other teams, and I remember seeing like they would just cancel games or like there'd be no fans. At least in Jacksonville, the biggest crowd I had performed in front of there, we had 9,000 fans in the
they
ice bar,
packed-
which
yeah,
is
yeah.
wild. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah, and no,
The audience space was so dedicated too. I feel like in Orlando and Jacksonville especially, and those are like older, like more, especially Jacksonville's an older, more heritage Florida city.
Sure.
Once those people have their eagle claws into something they really enjoy, and the product was fun. I'll never take anything away from the fact that that if done like really top end, I think I'd still be around right now.
Yeah, I'm just making fun of it.
We make fun of everything. We make
No,
fun of everything.
I get it, but it gave me a good solid base, and then I started doing some boxing and MMA too because I just branched and just started reaching out to more promoters. And then Jim Jaworski, who's the general manager with the Daytona Tortugas, who I've known since around the time I moved here 12 years ago. He had gotten into his position and he reached out to me. He saw some of the stuff I was doing and said, we'd like to bring you into the Tortugas if that's something you're interested in. So that's how I got started in baseball. I was supposed to start in 2020, and that was the year we weren't even sure the team would make it past because minor league baseball was at that time restructuring everything.
Yeah.
We made it through and they brought me in. I started in the 2021 season. So I've only really been in baseball. This is my second year. And but I managed to somehow get a spot with the Savannah Bananas.
Is that because of the Tortugas?
Partially. I mean,
Yeah.
that gave me some, but they're not, I mean, they weren't looking for that. They're looking at contributors to the show to make it as maximum entertainment as possible.
Yeah.
Because that's our goal all the way. I mean, the play on the field is great, but the fans are thrilled nonstop. That's kind of what we're going for.
Yeah.
And they like the idea, actually, of having a pro wrestling announcer in baseball
I
is
can
more
see
what
that.
it is. So
Yeah.
that's kind of like I do the weigh-ins and we do these big, giant, crazy, wacky, like Apollo Creed style entrances for some of the guys, and that's where I come out and kind of like
You
do
video
my
game it a
stuff.
little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We make it larger than life,
Yeah.
over the top.
It's interesting that you do that because I'm seeing a lot of the things that I see in MLB The Show, the video game, being implemented into like baseball now. For instance, he brings up an amazingly great point. There is a lack of excitement when it comes to people being announced and stuff like that. Baseball's a pretty chill game, right? But if you add just little flourishes of like announcing, they do it in the video game. So, for instance, if you have a batter coming up that maybe is a really good guy at the plate, he's known to put a home run out there now and again. They'll make it'll say like boss battle, or they'll make it like a big deal. And what you're seeing now in a lot of like, especially in minor league, because I feel like they can get away with more, you're seeing them add that stuff to it, and it just makes the product better. It really does, man.
Well, there's obviously some sort of it's hot right now,
Yeah.
minor league. Like, there's a reason why Daniel all of a sudden started getting into it, and then Real Sports had the Savannah Bananas.
And you're in
on.
that, right?
Yeah, I mean, briefly. You see me
Briefly,
dancing
briefly.
in Birmingham, Alabama,
I did see
on the
that.
back. But hey, me and Tony Soprano on HBO. That's-
That's awesome, man.
But and that's a huge promotion for not only the Savannah Bananas, but for minor league baseball and like what minor league baseball is doing. And I see a lot of people more interested. Like, since Daniel's been talking about it, we see a lot of BDMs are collecting minor league baseball hats, and like they like the gimmicks. And you're right, there is a more
The branding has shifted in minor league baseball. Like,
Yeah.
everything is cool and fun and funky and weird, like the Rocket City Trash Pandas.
You think that
And-
has like
I got
a
a
Kenny
hat.
Powers effect to it? Because like Kenny
little bit.
Powers like really promoted that whole like
Yeah.
gimmick, and like
It's
like, it
fun,
was
man.
huge.
The arrogance and the kind of like,
Yeah.
it's
And
the
you
It's
see
pop-
swag. Like, people
Yeah.
like it. Like, because you can get into, like, you either love somebody or hate somebody, but that's very pro wrestling, right? Either way.
Absolutely.
And that's what Conor McGregor does well in UFC. Like, love him or hate him, you're tuning in to watch him because you either want to see him win or you want to see him get knocked out. It's the same kind of thing. And now, at least some of the minor league is doing it, but minor league baseball is still tethered to major league baseball. So they still have some restraints and handcuffs. The Bananas are completely independent. They are a college wood bat league. So they're not affiliated with minor league baseball directly, even though they outdraw most teams. I mean, they have sold out at home over 160 games in a row in a 4,500 seat stadium. And then when we went on our world tour, we did 7 or 8 cities. We sold out every single city in different
Wow.
places
That's
through the
amazing.
Southeast. It's amazing. We had
It's a
10,000
phenomenon for
fans
sure.
in Birmingham, Alabama, in the oldest ballpark in the world. 10,000 people showed up there to watch that show.
And it's just a traveling
Crazy.
party, but with really good levels of play
Oh,
and
sure.
entertainment.
Well, and it's attracting a lot of interesting things. So, like when we were in West Palm Beach, Johnny Bench, who's considered like if not the greatest catchers of all time,
Yeah.
he was there and he caught the first banana, because we don't throw a first pitch, we throw a first banana. And
course,
he also he
course
coached
you do.
first base, and so he coached first base during an inning. And as soon as he got on, the guy cranks a home run like over the wall. I mean, you can't script that. I mean, we didn't script it, but you couldn't script that any
Yeah.
better if you tried.
Yeah. And almost impossible to even fake that too. With
Can't.
you know what I'm saying, you know,
Too many
just-
variables.
Exactly.
Correct. That's the comparison we get. So we get a lot of the Harlem Globetrotters thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, spoiler alert, in case you haven't been paying attention to the Globetrotters for the last almost 100 years, they always win. The Bananas play the party animals when we do the Banana Ball exhibition games. Everything is scripted except for the play itself. So the party animals do
bananas
win.
can lose.
Oh, yeah, they lost. We lost. The Bananas lost 4 or 5 throughout the series.
How
out
do
of
you
the 15
feel
games.
about the party animals?
I love those guys.
Yeah.
They've got tuxedo jerseys that are sleeveless.
Have
Like,
you seen
that's
them?
very Kenny Powers.
Have you seen
No,
that?
I
Yeah,
haven't.
it's more your speed than mine. I'm more of a banana. I think you're more of a party animal.
So Matt, let's talk about like the art and the profession of a professional announcer, because
I want to know like his daily workflow. Like, what do you got to prepare for? Like, that's a lot of knowledge you got to cram in the brain, right?
It
yeah.
depends. It depends on the role, because again, I play a couple different roles, right? So if it's ring announcer, I need to kind of know the names and when and where. If I'm doing commentary, well, then I got to be able to call moves and call stuff and really have some background knowledge and have a lot more information. If it's baseball, I really need to know the bits of what we're doing and kind of what the purpose is, what we're trying to do, and kind of what our button is, what our moment where we really have the fans really react to something crazy that happens, and just kind of knowing where those are and then just going out and executing them. But I have to get in a good headspace, which is tough because I got 4 kids, and I work during the day, a lot of it. So I teach school, so it's
God, busy man.
It's very busy.
Well-
Not a lot of sleep.
That's what I wanted to talk about, because like usually, and me and Daniel have done a lot of this, and the reason why I even talked about the arena football thing is because I've done probably 25 halftime shows for arena football back in the day.
Probably
radio
more,
days,
but
like
yeah, we'll go
ridiculous.
with 25.
25, 30, 50, who knows? But and I was doing more goofus stuff, but I remember even when Tiffany was doing the on-field announcements. Like, you have to go out there and read, like, there's sponsors involved.
Yeah, there's money at stake.
Right.
And
And people paid for those spots.
If you're doing like some sort of on-field promotion, like you are in control of the crowd at that point, and they are all looking at you. Like you could have 10,000 people looking at you, and you are in charge of entertaining them. And it's interesting that like a lot of the times they give announcer jobs to like local DJs or like interns at radio.
Yeah.
Tiffany was an intern at a radio station, and she was the announcer for the Orlando Predators for a season. Like it's kind of like they would throw anybody in there, even us. Like, oh, you guys do radio, you can announce, but it's like this is totally two different things. Like what we do on the radio doesn't really correlate to announcing in a live audience, and it's like asking Bill Belichick to play Madden, and like you're good at Madden, right? And like he's like, no, I don't like I'm it's two different things.
It shows a lack of understanding what the position even is.
Yeah, like
correct.
You could talk on the radio.
It's insulting too, a little bit.
Yeah, and so I feel like people have underappreciated the announcer for years, and I'm sure you've seen your fair share of horrible announcers.
Oh, there's a lot.
And when you see a good one, it's one of those things where you don't even appreciate what they're doing. But like I am going to start being cognizant of on-field announcers and being like, that guy's good, because most of them are like local radio DJs that don't even want to be there, by the way.
Right.
And they're mad because I've done that.
You're speaking about us.
Yes, I've been.
What he's trying to say is that Sabrina and her partner, I want to say is Ricky now, like the two, they do Orlando City.
Right.
But I probably got his name wrong.
They
Whatever.
don't want to be there.
But they're better than we were, I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
I watched them, I'm like, wow, they're good.
Listen,
they got the good.
They're better than us. They don't want to be there. I'm not going to speak for them, but I will. They don't want to be there. Because I didn't want to be there. Me and Daniel were like, oh, God, every morning. We were like,
hard,
this again. And then we have to go read the things. And it was like nerve-wracking because first, like, they don't pay you anything. Second, if you mess up, you're embarrassing yourself in front of thousands of people.
And we did. We messed up a lot.
Yeah.
And
we'd
then,
have people yell at us from the crowd. They're like, you're an idiot. Like when we get things wrong.
the information's never ready. It's never right. No one's ever giving you
nobody gives you all the tools that you need.
They set you up for failure.
Oh, yeah.
How many times have you gone out there and you're like, oh, your in-ears, so your reverb of the stadium, they don't work, so you're going to have to just...
most of the time, I don't even have an in-ear. In fact, I don't know if I've ever had an in-ear.
Oh, really?
Oh, my God.
Because
I'll give you mine.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that too, Matt, because in certain stadiums, there's such an echo.
It's terrible sometimes where your voice is bouncing back at you and you're behind, and I just have to slow down so I can process my actual words
hard.
as opposed to the ones I'm hearing.
And it makes you feel like your brain is failing you.
Like it's mush.
Yeah.
For sure.
There is literally a phone app that if you can get where it stops you from talking, because all it does is give you an echo of your own voice in like a 1 second increment.
Yeah.
Like
if
a
you
1
use
second
headphones, it'll drive you mad.
Like try talking through it, because that's what announcers mostly do.
Yes.
And for the normal person trying to have a conversation or whatever, it'll literally stop your brain.
It's impossible.
When the first time we did the Orlando City matches, I was hearing my echo, and if it wasn't for Daniel, I would have froze. My brain would stop, because when you start talking and all of a sudden you hear yourself a second delay later, loud, it's not like you hear a tiny bit. You hear it loud back to yourself.
It throws you off.
And then you're trying to remember a script off the top of your head that changes minutely every time. It's like people are not realizing what announcers going through, and I'm sure you have seen this, and like, are you mad that people don't appreciate it more?
No, because it's one of those things that nobody thinks about. It's an interesting niche. It's an interesting role. That's why I think it's fitting for a weird job, on a Wednesday. It's wacky, and nobody. It's one of those things that you mentioned earlier. I've heard this before. A good announcer doesn't make a show, but a bad announcer can break a show. So it's one of those things where, like, if you're good, that just means the whole operation is moving smoothly, which is kind of what your whole goal. I think of myself, when people hire me to host an event, I look at myself as a guiding hand. My job is to move all the pieces. Everything behind the curtain stays behind the curtain. There's nothing to see here. Everything is good and well. Everything on stage right now, whatever that stage is, whether it's a ball field or a charity event, everything is perfect. And meanwhile, things are on fire in the back. But nobody needs to know that. And as long as everybody walks away going, man, that was great. I had such a good time, and that was so flawless. boom, then we've done it. If we've controlled that perception, that means I'm good at my job, and we've moved things along.
Do you find it odd that more like organizations don't seek out more professional announcers?
True announcers, not just like
I don't know that there are many. It's like, so when I started doing this, it's not like there's a playbook. It's not like there's a rule book. I'm really big into professional development, and I don't have many places to go that are direct. I'm having to kind of piecemeal different things from different people to kind of like integrate into how I approach the things that I do.
Creating your own
Correct.
job. I mean, like I saw something yesterday that doesn't bode well for announcers who are already hard to find, but it was an application or a company that they have kind of snatched up a lot of like sports or minor league and major league baseball's home announcers. And they've kind of corralled them into one area where if you happen to have like a high school or middle school or even just a rec league baseball team, you can purchase their services and they will record everything like the announcing and everything for you. And then you're just going to go and hit buttons and it's all recorded. And I'm absolutely against that. I'm
for sure
absolutely against it because it kills the idea of the thing being live. It like sucks all the
it'll
energy
suck.
out of it.
It'll
Yeah,
suck. And that's the
100%.
thing. If people use it, they'll be like, "Oh, this sucks."
Because it's
Like,
not
I don't
real.
like it.
Yeah,
right.
but I'm seeing things where they're trying to do that, and I just don't think it's going to work, man.
And Matt, you are also like we touched on a little bit about like knowing timing and feeling the audience
Correct.
and stuff like that's like talk to any comedian or anybody who does a live show.
He's
or performance.
diagnosing the crowd.
Correct at all
Yeah.
times.
And
Yeah.
you're planning like when the crescendo of like everybody's supposed to applause or this is the bit and people are gonna laugh and like you're planning that right before you get out and like that is done on the fly and that's done through improv and crowd work and reps and like it's like the huge organizations don't hire like super pro announcers to do these sort of things because amateur can't do it. Like,
Well, what does that look like
radio
on a
intern-
resume? You know, like, oh, really good at, I've got the it factor. What does that mean? Or like the situational awareness. I've got a good feel. Like that's how you would write that on a resume, and that speaks nothing to anyone who would read it. So how do you measure that? How do you hire for that? It's really hard to say. I mean, I
But
think that's
you-
why you don't find that.
You would think that they would see the importance in it after seeing that. Like, and I'm only going to speak for I'll go with your two. In wrestling and baseball, those are two areas where the announcer is extremely important. Like if you watch any professional wrestling, how many times I dare you to go to the Twitter account and see if they're commenting about the announcer. They are.
Oh, for sure.
In wrestling, 100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's way more important. In baseball, guarantee or they're talking about Chip Carey or whoever's talking.
Right.
Like, I happen to be a Braves fan. I'm watching that. I mean, they talk about it all the time. Don't go over to Apple TV and watch one of their games, especially if they have a female announcer now. You're seeing the world burn down. Like, the announcers are extremely important in those two sports.
So Matt,
you would think they'd see the value in it is my point. Like, why wouldn't more people get a Matt?
It is weird, especially for the people that watch the games or are there all the time and like would recognize like, oh, Matt, the young professor's great, and when we have anybody else, it's just not like this guy is valuable.
That's what's kind of what I've started learning, and sometimes I feel like my absence does more favors for me than my presence does. Because I mean I'm very fortunate now at this point where I've built enough of a following and I've built enough connections where I've got stuff booked out the rest of this year and well into next year.
Nice.
And so like I can't do all the games all the time at any promotion that I work for, really. I mean, because it's like, hey, look, I'm looking to make this at some point if I can. I want this to be my career. I want this to be what I do. I don't want to have to be in the classroom all day. It's not that I don't like that, but like burning the candle at both ends, there's only so long you can do that for. And I'm really passionate about performing, and I feel like that's where I'm best because I'm really good in the front of the classroom with the kids, and then when I have to sit and grade, I am hating life.
Yeah.
I just hate having to do that part, all the administrative, the nuts and bolts of what you have to do.
How are the family about, like, I mean, you sound like you're very much like us. You're a hustler. You're always staying busy. You're always trying to take advantage of the opportunities. How does the family integrate into how busy you are? I mean, if we are talking weird job, I guess your weird job is your announcing job. Your teaching job is that's your most important job for family. How do they? I mean, like that's a lot of give and take for dad, right?
It is, and it's hard for them, and they, you know, I'm very fortunate that my family is supportive, right? And my wife is, and sometimes it's tough on her because she's left
sports.
So well, sometimes, but sometimes she really likes it. So like last week, the Bananas kind of called me last minute, and they're like, "Why don't you come out and we're going to do 2 games?" And then this week, really the reason was because Jesse Cole, the owner, the man in the yellow tux, the guy who runs the whole show, he's not going to be there this Thursday, and he goes, "I want you to do it," and I went, "Are you kidding me?
That's
like,
cool,
are you like
dude.
this is major?" But like they brought us out. They got us a hotel. So it turned into a nice
awesome.
vacation. So like all of a sudden, the kids and the wife are like, "Yeah, I guess you're all right. I guess it's
Yeah,
okay.
get that sweet banana money, dog.
Because
Yeah.
it's, you know, now they're getting to reap some of the benefits of it. But it's, you know, but it's been working in sweaty malls and little like hallway locker rooms before that. So it's not always
But
been
you're still
glamorous
young.
for them.
I mean, you play your cards right, man, and this thing could like I see the dream. I see it.
Well,
It's attainable.
Look at Bruce and Michael Buffer. How old are those guys? They're still doing it.
Right.
I'm 36, so you know,
you're a baby, dude.
you know,
Oh,
I
my
still got
God.
some time, and there's legs to this position. As long as I can keep my voice,
And it's
good.
hot right now. It's hot
Yeah,
right now.
yeah, it's moving and shaking. That's for
Really?
sure.
Are you
cool.
mad about how much Michael Buffer's made?
No.
Are you serious?
No.
Because
He wants to follow,
Because
right?
that sets the template, right?
Yeah.
That shows you
He's
the
happy
capacity
about
for
it.
what is out there, what can be
It can
available
be done,
if
yeah.
you're able to nail it down just right.
hundreds of millions.
Yeah.
Hundreds.
Well, that's what's funny because people always, you know, as an announcer, people always be like, "Oh, can you say, let's get ready to run?" And I'm like, "Nope, no, sir, I cannot."
Do you have a catchphrase of your own?
No, and you know what?
Can we help you invent one?
I'm all for it because I feel like that's the missing piece.
Bananarama!
Well, it's like it depends what because I work so many places.
Yeah,
so it's like
you got to be generic.
right. That you've got to. There's certain things that I do.
You know what? Somebody needs to go ahead and grab it because it's hot. And even though I hate it, I know it's super popular. I said it to my wife this morning when I found my Diet Mountain Dews are back on the shelves now. These pink ladies, as I call them, the Spark Zeros. They're back. And when I grabbed one, I yelled in the 7-Eleven. I was like, "Let's go!"
That's what everybody's. Yeah,
Everybody's
that's like
all
every
about the
kid.
let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they say it different ways. Like kids like to say, like they'll look at
Let's
it
go!
like, "Oh,
Yeah.
let's go!"
Yeah. Yep. It's all depending on the context.
Yeah. Why is it let's go?
I don't know, but
So
it's
generic.
Everything has to be short because even Bruce Buffer, his whole thing that he makes money on is it's time.
Yep.
It's time.
It's time. It's 2 words.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and that's what's, and like I've tried playing with stuff, but it's like it's something.
What
it's
if
like,
you
no,
did a
you're
question?
just deriving it.
No one said a question. What if you were like, "What?"
Yeah.
What if that's yours?
I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
What does that do to the crowd? I feel like that just leaves people going.
I'm
That's a
mad.
good one.
I'm mad at the "let's go" spectrum because you could either flip a water bottle and scream it
Yeah.
or score a touchdown now.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Right.
no, there's got to be some sort.
And if you put a name
Like-
in it, it's something completely
you got to
different.
do something a little more awesome than flip a water bottle. Anyway.
Maisie can do that now. She's all
Celebrate
about-
your wins, man. I'm all for it. Flip that water
Yeah,
bottle.
let's go.
Land it. Nail
Let's
it.
go.
So, I want to talk about when things go poorly because,
I knew this was on your
Oh, yeah.
list. I knew this was on your list.
and so do you have outs or like go-to bits or go-to things
Like
that-
a magician or an illusionist.
Yeah, like if something's wrong or there's the production team is telling you in your ear or stage left, keep it going, you
Yeah.
know, like because we have to kill some time here. Do you have go-to bits and crowd stuff and things that you do if you need to?
Depending on what the situation is, I do. I mean, some of it, especially if you're on the field and you've got your 90 seconds to nail this promo, and especially like when you're using kids and you're sitting there with that kid right there before you go out, and you're like, all right, we're gonna do this, and say it back to me, and then you get out there and go, and everything is gone, and
Yeah,
everything is going
never bring
horribly
kids
wrong.
up.
And like,
freezes.
or just keeps running. That's it, because we do like where the kid. So with the Tortugas, the kid races the mascot every night, and
His name is
I
Sheldon.
dread it. Yeah,
His
Sheldon.
name is Sheldon.
Sheldon
for Christ's
races.
sake. Let's show a little respect.
Sheldon races the kid, and a lot of times it's good, but it goes remarkably wrong. and sometimes I have a handler down there that's like supposed to like be the end point. I've watched the handler, like the kid goes by and the handler just goes, "Hey." And just the kid runs by. And the other day I was in like smoking loafers,
my
and I'm like running, sprinting on the field, like ice skating, trying to catch this kid. And I was like, oh my God. And like people are laughing, but you have to say, you know what? What are you going to do other than just laugh with everybody? You're like, you know what? Welcome to the show, everybody.
Yeah.
We're just having fun.
Well,
out
it does
here.
have a certain there is a charm about
There
like
is.
in like seeing what you do and trolling your page a little bit and kind of lurking and going through it. There is a certain amount of charm that you're not going to get if you get too top tier.
Correct.
You know,
You want things to go wrong a little bit.
A little bit.
Because it's funny, and
Yeah.
that's really what we're trying to do at the end of the day, right? Is keep people entertained.
Sure.
Because that's something I learned from the Bananas, and I'm trying to integrate more with the Tortugas. Is it's not really about the field on the play. Like last week, the Tortugas were on the road against the St. Lucie Mets. They got swept. They played 5 games. They got beat all of them.
Yep.
And they haven't been playing all that well at home. So we can't control the product on the field, right? That's them. What happens between the lines, that's the players, the coaches, that's the decisions they make.
Sure.
But we still need fans to come out and be there and have a good time. That's my job, right? That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
We are creating the experience. I'm cutting audio and drops to throw up so that they have good stuff to play in certain
Nice.
situations. We've got the right music for the right scenarios. We're doing the right bits. We're trying something new every night just to kind of keep it interesting for people to come out every night because we've
I'm
got season
excited,
ticket holders.
man. I'm in.
That's what it's about, and people are staying to the end of the game. People are. I feel like I know. Like last 2 Sundays ago when we were home, we had 1,500 fans on a Sunday, which was 300 more fans than every other team in the Florida State League combined.
Nice.
You know, it's kind of tough to go from Banana Ball where we've got full stands all the
Right,
time, but
right.
like the fact that we are delivering that kind of experience that we're out, and Daytona's not the biggest city compared to the other cities in Florida State
but there
League.
is a market there because I've been mentioning my new, love of baseball, and it's not a joke. I mean, like I actually watch baseball every night because it calms me down. I enjoy it. I enjoy the mental aspect of the game. I think it's really, really cool. I also think what a valuable tool for the Tortugas to have a guy that's literally on the top tier of these teams. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure that they literally shelled in the Tortugas. All of them would do backflips if they were just like very similar to what the Bananas are doing, and they have you as a resource. I mean, that's invaluable.
Matt, let's end here. What's the bit that kills every time? That no matter what,
the classic.
the classic bit that always works, never not fails. That the audience loves. Is there one particular? And then, has any of your bits that you came up with ever been stolen by Major League Baseball? Because they do some of this
Oh,
stuff
yeah, they
too
do that.
during like the 7-inning stretch and stuff like that, where they'll remember the Freeze. Who's the mascot of the Freeze? That someone races them every
It's the
time.
Braves, right?
The Braves.
Braves,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah. And then so they do a little bit of this.
They were giving out Freeze bobbleheads the other night.
Yeah. So I feel like they are borrowing from the popularity of minor league bits sometimes. So
None that I've necessarily created. I've done my share of borrowing as well. Like we do something we started doing this season that I feel like kills every night is we do the Titanic cam, and we've got like a little boat that's like in the front of the screen, and when the camera goes on, people they're like rows on the front of the Titanic.
I
And
love that.
people like getting weird to it and having fun, and I'm kind of calling people out and seeing them get silly up there. That's always
Put
fun.
Tom on there. If he comes with me to a Tortugas game, you got to put him up there.
I'll be shamed in doing it, but I will be miserable.
Oh,
the
you'll
whole
be
time.
so mad.
I'll be mad.
That would
I'll
break
be
up the
mad.
show.
But I'll
If-
do it because the audience
Yeah.
wants me to,
That's
and
it.
I'll be forced
The
to.
pressure's on.
He
right?
would
I'll
talk
be
to me
grumpy.
if we came to a Tortugas game, which I might see you Sunday. My birthday is on the 12th.
I won't be there Sunday.
Damn
I'll be
it.
there. River City Wrestling.
Well,
Con,
hopefully
yeah.
I'll get to do a couple times where
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
go and see you. But if I put you on the Titanic cam, you'd be very mad at me.
No,
Very mad
but
at
I'll
me.
do it. I will do it.
He
I
will.
won't just sit
You'd
there
have a
because
good
it's more
time.
awkward. I'll
he
be
would
like,
sell
no.
it, and he'd look, but after
You gotta wrap your arms around it.
man, yeah.
I'll put my hands out like a scarecrow. And I'll put a mad face. Anyway, young professor, thanks so much for coming
thanks
by,
so
man.
much, man. I
Tom,
hope we get
Dan,
the.
Sam, thank you guys.
I hope we get a chance to do it again. And I
Where can
know
people
for
contact you?
I know for a fact that other radio stations, if they heard this guy, they'd be like, "Oh my God, we need him as a DJ." No, you don't want him
Yeah,
working
do
your
you-
stinky radio.
Yeah. Do you know the fat slobs they put on radio? they have no business. They're horrible. Jeff Howell knows.
Yeah.
He's in a lobby.
You know the fat slobs, right? Yes, I do. There you go. Confirmed.
Yeah. So how can people contact you?
A couple different ways. I'm on all social media. If you go to Facebook, it's The Young Professor. If you're on Twitter, it's at Young Professor G. If you're on either TikTok or Instagram, it's at MG The Young Professor. But if you type in The Young Professor, I'm usually pretty easy to find.
Yeah, you're like
Awesome.
one or two, I believe so. Hey, thanks so much, man. We appreciate it. We'll do it again, and we'll take a quick break and come back with more of Corporate Time.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Jeff Howell's here. How you doing, Jeff?
Hey, what's up, Tommy?
What's up,
Dan
Jeff?
and
How are
Sam.
you?
Hello.
Sweet Sam. Love Sam.
Never say Sweet Sam. I heard that.
Yeah.
So-
I heard you say Sweet Sam. I know what that means.
What have you been up to, Jeff?
God, I usually bring a list to let you know.
I'm glad you did.
I had on my list.
I know.
Jeff's
bring a
list.
I'm glad you didn't.
I
bring
didn't
a
bring a list. 'cause
Refer to
Tom
the
will-
list.
We
that's what
talked
I had.
about that.
I-
We have talked about this. I told Tom, I go, why does he bring a list every time he comes in here?
Yeah.
I said, why didn't he just sit and talk to us like a normal person instead of freaking out with a list? I'm like, oh,
No,
no.
what,
Radio guys like lists.
Yeah, I guess. I guess.
what happened was I came in one time, and this happens to me a lot. People go, "What have you been up to?" And I go, and I just freeze. There's nothing.
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah.
I know a million stories, but I don't know them unless something triggers
Yeah.
the story thing.
Yes,
like if
yeah,
you're
yeah.
talking about buses. Oh, when I was a kid, I was on a bus and stuff like that.
It's like being in a
Like,
library and then falling upon the wrong book. And then
Yes.
the whole room
yeah,
starts
and
unraveling.
so what
Yeah.
happened was Tom
You
said,
push a button on the
what
wall and the secret
and
trap
so
door.
I thought I would just bring it in to help out. And I gave it to Tom, and Tom looked at it. He goes, "Oh, great a list."
I didn't say it. I didn't say that.
and then every
Yes, he
time
did.
I do
I believe you.
and
If you
then
give
every
me
time,
anything, I'll just be like, thank you.
and then every time I do a story from the list, the whole time I was doing the story, he go, "Oh,
Yeah.
No.
He does that. He
Why
does that
did-
to me. I'll start telling a story
Yeah.
and he'll be like, hurry it up, you POS.
I'm not. No, why are you picking up on that? I'm just sitting here.
Yeah, we
you're-
pick up on a
you're-
lot of
you're-
things.
You're great at what you do."
No, I'm not. I'm telling you.
I
so-
missed you guys.
We
Yeah.
missed you too, man.
What-
You've been playing around. You've been
what
getting
have you
Yeah,
been
I've been
up to?
playing like crazy, but I've been going to see my mom up in Northwest Arkansas. She moved up there with
Oh, I
my.
didn't know that.
Yeah. She finally got to where she needs assisted living. So she always said, when I get to that point, I'm going to move to where my children are, and my
Smart
brother
idea.
and sister
Yeah.
live up there. She didn't want to come here because. It's hot, and my house is crap.
Yeah.
She
Your
didn't
mom
come here
moves
because
in
it's
and,
hot and my house
It
is
was
crap.
Yeah, it is crap.
and you've been living by yourself for a while, so
Yeah.
I feel like
Since
you have-
'92.
Let me ask you a
92.
serious question. No judgment involved, but just knowing facts are facts.
Yes.
You have pathways through your home, right?
No. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Like
yeah,
a
I know.
hoarder
Yeah,
a
I
little
do.
bit?
Come on.
Yeah, no, I used to.
Because
I-
I've only been to your
no.
house one time.
Yeah, that one
no,
time.
Jeff's not a hoarder. Really?
I've only been to his house one time, and then through picking up little pieces
Yeah.
of little clues he's left over a 20-year friendship,
yeah.
I am putting together the pieces in that, and I've been there one time, and when
Yeah.
I was there were boxes
Yeah.
that you said, these have been here for 5 years. This is what the first time I'm there. He's like,
Yeah.
these have been here for 5 years. I still haven't unpacked them.
Yeah.
And it was a quintessential bachelor pad.
Yeah.
Now, fast forward 20 years later,
Yeah.
I feel like it now has hallways, pathways, hoarder pathways
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
through it.
Then there's a desk.
Like path to the computer, path to the bathroom, path to the mattress on top of turds that I sleep on.
But I go behind Kane's Furniture and get new boxes for the new quality boxes.
Exactly. Canes is a quality box.
Hey, it's a great box.
I
a good
enjoy a
Cane's
good Cane's furniture reference.
Y'all have to have some old demographic.
We
gotta-
do.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
You
do.
got some old people.
They're dying off, though.
Yeah, they are.
The radio listeners at 5 a.m. we learned.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Holy crap.
Hard-working old people
yeah.
still listen to
Yeah.
I
this.
forgot they played us at 5 a.m. And
Do they play you at 5 a.m.?
Yeah, they've
It's a
been doing
replay,
it.
yeah.
They've been doing it for like
Real radio.
8
Real?
years or
Really? That's a
8 years.
choice spot.
We're the lead
I don't know.
in. We're the lead into the monsters from 5 to 6.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Anyway, is it awesome? By the way,
Yeah.
we didn't even
No
know
one,
it.
by the way, even the people that listen to it have never said it's awesome.
Well, you know what? Here's
the only thing on.
Now, can they sneak that in there and not pay y'all for the extra thing, or
Oh,
did
they
y'all
don't pay
work
us
that?
anyway.
You think
we're
that
like
good-
you, Jeff?
Good old Clear
They're
Channel.
doing it again. They did it to all of us.
I know.
They're like, come do it for free.
I
Did you
know.
know we give them that show for free? Or this show? I
No.
should say this show. Yeah, this is a free show.
But joke's on them. We do all the work to make the money.
Okay,
Hold on.
I think.
Yeah. Don't
So
talk
you collect
about
the money, give them their cut?
No,
they-
we don't give them nothing.
We don't give them
Oh,
nothing.
okay.
They don't even know we work there. Or they have no idea.
Oh, man.
That's
we-
a good. And wait till the
We
new
did a
lady.
tour like a couple weeks ago. No idea. Nobody knew who we were.
Yeah, we're like,
Wait till the new lady comes in.
No,
She's
we already talked to the new lady.
Oh, have you really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think she knew.
Yeah.
Well, to
And
be
I-
fair, Tom didn't know who she was either.
yeah. At least Linda Bird knew who you you know who you
Yeah, but
are.
she
I
hated
hate
us.
them.
she hated me the most.
Oh yeah.
Did
she
she really?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
she hated Tom, and
Why?
then she thought I was too stupid to pull myself out of his tractor ray of influence. Tractor
I
beam
see.
of
Yeah,
influence.
yeah.
And then I used to think it was a joke, kind of. And then I heard from other people, like, "Oh yeah, she told me, like,
not a-
personally,
not a
she-
joke,
like, oh.
Told me over lunch.
So one of the- yeah, like
I laughed.
we were both telling her therapist pulled you aside and said, "Yeah, it's true."
So anyway, Jeff, I got a question
Facts.
for you. First,
Yes.
when are you going to be at the House of Blues?
That's not on the list.
No, okay.
Okay, stick to the list.
I'll be Thursday, this Thursday.
Okay, so I'm going to be there Friday.
Okay.
All right.
Great. That does nothing for Jeff.
I know.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there Friday. Good. I don't get to see you. Yeah. Disgusting.
Thank you for working your plug in on
Right.
my plug.
Oh
yeah.
man, I don't want to.
No, I don't
I
wanna-
know what we're about to talk about. I think, and I just
It's awkward.
It is awkward because
It's different opinions because I saw a BDM say, "Oh, it's
No.
just hair," and there were tons of kids.
no, but
They don't like me.
Those
No,
are
no.
the people that are saying that though are also the people that are completely okay with being sort of inconsiderate to other concert goers. I feel like.
There may be one or two, but everyone hates you.
Yeah,
Just know,
that-
just
that-
know that.
she nailed it. She
So-
did the second
Everyone
part.
hates me.
Some be no.
Well,
it's
let's
only-
explain.
okay,
I'm
sure.
getting
So
used to the idea.
Tom is taking his small children, 6 and 7, right? Or they?
No, they have a
7 and
pack.
8?
I think it's multiple
It might as well
couples.
be 7 and 8 now. Max's birthday is
Okay, but
in
still
July.
7, 8, very
It's
young.
multiple couples with how many children in total?
Well, my buddies.
They're all under 10, right?
Yeah, my
Yeah.
buddy's kids. I think he's 10. His oldest is 10, and his youngest is like Max's age 6 or something like that. So anyway, elementary school kids, right?
Okay.
And
So,
they're
okay.
taking them all to a pop punk show.
And there's a concert, Newfound Glory, on Friday. That
Pop punk is a
It's like melodic punk music.
Yeah.
Oh,
like-
I thought he was like a
like-
TV show
Here,
host
I'll-
for
I-
kids.
No.
I speak, Jeff. Green Day like.
Yes,
Ah,
correct.
okay,
yeah.
good.
Green Day like.
Now, okay, I'll tell you what Crystal told me because I don't know. I know Newfound Glory of the name, and I recognize the music
Yeah, you
from
know-
back in the day.
You would know it.
I think Andres was friends with them when they started. Like they started West Palm Beach, and they all used to play punk rock
Yeah,
together,
Andrea
like
knows
in
is
90s, in the late
Bullocky
90s.
still the drummer, Cyrus Bullocky?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only person that's not in there is Steve because
Yeah.
he had some issues.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, Andrea knew him growing
Yeah.
up. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, they've got local ties.
And
So who is pop punk?
No, that's
you.
a genre.
That's my TV show.
So my
Come on, kids.
So Jeff, here's my question, right?
punk.
So, and this started because our friends are coming to stay with us this weekend, and they are going to the show, and they are bringing their kids.
Yeah.
So then my wife was like, "Oh, we'll go too,
Yeah.
and then we'll bring our kids. It'll be an adventure."
Yeah.
And even though the kids don't listen to Newfound Glory, but they're like they can go to their first concert.
Yeah.
We're all going.
Yeah.
We have our friends from Miami we grew up with anyway.
Yeah.
So so I was like, all right, fine. They bought the ticket. So, but then I started thinking, it's going to be awkward if we're the only people with elementary school kids at this show, right? Because that would be weird. I would feel like if I was at a punk rock show,
Yeah.
and I saw some people bring in their elementary school kids,
Yeah.
then I would be like, well, this is awkward. Why'd you do that?
It's
Yeah.
fine if you're up in the balcony and you're sitting down, but if you're down in the crowd with your tiny children, now I have to worry about your kid getting smashed.
Yeah, I don't really.
Well, I'm not going to be front. We're going to be down next to
It's
the
going to be
stage
slam
or something.
packed, dude.
Yeah.
It's going to be a sold out crowd. It
It'll be
always
a
is
sold
at
out.
House of Blues with Newfound Glory because they're a Florida band.
And it's but the nut in there
yeah.
too. It's tough.
They sell it out.
So my question to you, Jeff,
They're going to
Yes.
be miserable.
is now what with the kids, whether they have a good time or not.
Yeah.
So
that's-
why bring them? It's going to be miserable for everyone.
Okay, they have their
Well, my-
obsession with building memories. I'm serious. Every
But this
post
might-
I
if
see
it-
from
if
you
they-
guys
if
is
they
like
remember it,
building
it's gonna be
memory.
a bad memory.
Yeah.
Every post I see is like we're building the memories or build the memories. It's like, well, you're ruining my memories because
Yeah.
I want to go to that show without kids.
Yeah.
So and then my wife said that their audience is like they our age and they all have kids now, and then they apparently they bring like they don't curse in their music and
Yeah.
Yes,
Really?
they do.
Oh, they do.
Yeah,
Oh,
they do.
okay.
And so does
But that's
4 years
okay.
Yeah, 4 years
strong.
strong.
Yeah.
You're
Well,
I would say do this.
I don't care about the cursing. I'm just saying I thought it was more like Newfound Glory. This particular band was more. It's an all ages show.
Yes.
They put that there.
Yeah,
so-
but they
Yeah.
mean all ages. I don't think that's ever meant babies or kids.
No.
It's always
That
meant,
means
like,
that it doesn't have to be
18
21 and
Yeah,
up, yeah.
it means 18 and up. Like
I've got this fetus.
Yeah.
Can I get half price?
all
So-
ages doesn't mean like, hey, this show is all ages. Means like 18 and up, you don't have to get ID'd for liquor.
So now
Correct.
let me ask you, Jeff, because
Sure.
you've been a professional musician for 60 years. I don't know. I mean,
I'm just, you know what? I'm just waiting for the punch. I'm trying to.
Yeah,
I'm
we
not
got
gonna
it.
punch it.
Right
I was
here.
gonna- that's how I felt in my heart. So
That is truly how he feels.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you. Very good.
And feelings are real.
So I understand, like, don't bring your baby to the movie theater because it starts crying and
Right,
ruining
right,
everybody
right,
else's
right.
time.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
my kids aren't gonna cry. You know,
Yeah.
they'll just stand there.
yeah,
now,
yeah,
what-
yeah. They're trying to figure it out.
Now, whether or not they have a miserable time, that's on my wife for
Yeah.
this cockamamie idea. But as far as bothering other people,
Yeah.
they will they're not going to be running around or doing, like, they'll just
Yeah.
stand there.
And-
my kids are pretty well behaved.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But is the presence of kids.
Yeah, it's like bringing him to an
Real-
orgy or something. It's like I don't want
The
him there.
orgy
You know?
is a-
I
But
walk
it's just that-
over. I walk over. I got no
It's
pants
just not
on.
the-
Yeah.
it's
I'm getting
not the
chicken
show for
fingers.
it.
Yeah.
It's just not right.
Yeah, yeah.
I brought my son to an orgy one time, and he kept telling me what I was doing wrong.
Yeah.
So is it gonna be? Is this wrong to do? And is the band gonna
Yeah.
be like, "What the hell's the kids in the
Well,
audience?"
band's not going to say
They're not
anything.
going to notice. I mean,
Yeah.
you got to have
They're
quite
usually
an
pretty
ego.
good about it when there's kids, but that doesn't
Yeah.
mean that the rest of the crowd isn't going to hate you.
Yeah, I mean, like the likelihood of, like it can go one of two ways.
Yeah.
Either they're gonna be fine. I mean, 'cause your kids are really well behaved. It's just it doesn't need to happen. It's a meaningless, to me. It's a meaningless headache.
Yeah.
That doesn't need to happen.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
back in the day when I played at Cricketers, in the heyday, when it was just mobbed every night,
Yeah.
and it was a restaurant though, and I had some people that would bring their kids in and sit right up front. You know, and I'm throwing, I throw F-bombs and S-bombs,
Yeah.
just whatever
It's
comes
blue.
to mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's blue. And whatever comes to mind. And so the guy was sitting there, and I said, are you going to stay here for the show? And the guy goes, yeah. I go, he's going to have a lot more words for show and tell next week.
Yeah.
So,
That was one of my amusing anecdotes. I like to
Yeah. Also not on the list.
It wasn't on the
I
list.
didn't want to
See,
say
if I
it.
had a list, I had
Yeah,
a much
I didn't
funnier
wanna say it.
joke.
Yeah.
But that's up to the parents. Like, whether you're like, "Hey, this is the show. I curse," and then the parents are fine with it. Like, I'm fine with my
Yeah.
kids hearing curse words.
Yeah.
Like, that's not it doesn't move. Like, I don't expect.
Yeah,
do your show.
They've
Do
already
you
heard
want
it.
opinions from the chat room?
Well,
Because you have some people like Norm that say, like, find a good spot, throw them on your shoulders, no big deal. Then you have
Do not throw them on your shoulders.
Then you have Christine who
Jesus
says,
F.
I'm just more about showing interest and supporting my kids in their likes than forcing mine onto them.
Okay.
harsh.
All right.
So are you
Well, now
on?
you're talking about general parenting. I don't care about that. I
Yeah,
care
yeah,
about the actual. Like, I'm like walking in,
Making
and then
people
everybody's
feel-
like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah.
I would-
and then I just care about feeling awkward.
I would
Well,
I would
and then
give you the I
I've
would
got
give
the
you a
solution.
stink eye. I would give you stink face.
I got the solution because a lot of people do this. Come down there, bring the kid. The kids are going to love it because I don't care if they know the band or not.
It's night out, it's adults
It's an
here.
adventure. It's an adventure with
That's
my
what
parents.
Crystal said. Yeah, it's an adventure for the first
Yeah.
concert, and our friends
Yeah.
are coming, so there are other kids there
Yeah.
too.
So you bring them.
And that's what everybody wants is more kids there. I
Yeah.
see what's happening.
Walk them through the front door up to the loge area if you can get in the loge. Leave the kids there. Come out and drink and watch me for 4 hours.
It's fine. Yeah,
That's
it's
what a
House
lot of
Blues
parents
problem
do.
now.
A lot of parents do.
Hey, I thought about the loge. I don't have the same hookup anymore.
Oh, really?
I would have got the loge, but
God.
now I gotta pay.
God,
and then,
you guys used to be loge
My
crazy.
God.
Yeah, I know. We
$150
used to get it free.
Spend $100 for a ticket to Newfound Glory. Kids don't even know who it is. They're sitting there, $100. My God.
Yeah. And I always go, like, my friends that we're going with, they're like cool. Like, they're actually cool.
Your friends are cool?
So
Yeah,
this
yeah,
has
yeah.
nothing to do with you wanting to give your kids an adventure. It has everything to do with you and Crystal proving to other parents that you guys are cool parents too.
Took my kids to a
Yeah,
punk show.
yeah,
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
That's
It
what it
doesn't.
is.
Well, they're doing it, and they're cool.
Well, let them do it.
No, but well, I want to do it. I want to do
but
what cool people
you're
do.
not cool.
You know,
You don't even like these bands. You don't even like music, dude. You don't even listen
No.
to music. You only
I don't
listen to
wanna go.
gambling podcasts.
Yeah.
You don't listen to music?
No. That's
a good point.
I'm on some sort of spectrum, I think.
Oh, yeah.
But
You're on quite a few of them.
yeah, all the spectrums. But the it's nothing to do with me. I don't even want to go.
Yeah.
But now I'm going. Well, first, Crystal bought the ticket, and I started breaching the subject a little bit. And Crystal's like, "You always ass on everything. You just ruin everybody's time." And
But you guys are ruining everybody that wants to go to that concert without kids' time.
Well, she's convinced, and some BDM said at the last Newfound Glory show there was tons of kids and families there.
Yeah.
I mean, not more kids than there were adults that didn't want kids there.
Well, I don't know.
No, I do know. There were more adults that wouldn't want kids at any Newfound Glory show than there are kids there. It's not a kid thing. If it were, they'd be like Newfound Glory presents family shows, and they don't.
Well, I guess
Featuring pop punk.
Yeah, they don't do that.
Hey, kids.
Yeah. They don't want like babies there, but maybe they want like
No, they don't.
They don't
And
want
guess what?
yeah.
People do that too.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean
Well,
that's
that's
good
ridiculous.
for
They don't want
anybody.
any of that. They want people that listen to their music, that
Yeah.
like their music, to be there. They don't want, they don't want like, hey, bring your kids as an adventure.
Yeah.
I've never heard a band say that.
Actually,
Now-
they've been a band for a long. Don't they just want people to buy tickets? Who cares?
Yeah,
You
that's,
know,
see,
like
that's
Jeff
how-
Howell, like,
yeah.
you don't care.
Look, here's the deal.
I bet you the venue doesn't want the headache.
Yeah.
If I'm being serious.
It's at Disney. That's what my wife said too. It's at House of
That
Blues.
means nothing.
Yeah.
I got
Disney
knocked out
Springs.
at House of Blues before.
But here's the deal.
People are going to be crowd surfing.
Yeah. Now, House of Blues might be a little pissed at you because those 2 tickets that you bought for kids
Exactly. Could
would
have
have
went
gone
to
to
somebody.
beer
Yeah.
drinkers. Would have gone to
Well, I
alcoholics.
don't care about House of Blues'
I know.
bottom
They'll
line.
be looking down on you.
I bought the tickets. We're there. I'll drink for 2 of us.
They have a big bouncer named Ephraim, and he just stares at people that don't drink.
So anyway, listen. There's no way out of it now. Like,
Oh, yeah. I can't wait for Monday.
It's happening now.
I'll tell you the truth of what happened.
Are you guys going to skip the openers and just hit the Newfound Glory, or you're going for the whole experience?
I don't.
That's what I asked, because it's going to be too long of a night for them, I think.
I don't put-
think they're going to make it to Newfound Glory if they go for the
Yeah.
openers.
Or
Well-
come early and watch my show.
Well, the openers are more
Different day,
suspect.
though.
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
no, just come early.
I mean, if you
Just
wanted,
don't go Friday.
if you wanted to try and avoid f-bombs, the chat room is correct. I love Newfound Glory, but I'm more of a 4 Year Strong fan. I like that band a lot. Yeah, if you just held your own outside until Newfound Glory came on, you'd probably be okay.
No, but we don't care about the f-bombs.
Yeah.
But maybe
Yeah.
other
Is
people.
Crystal going to care about mosh pits?
Well,
Well, they're gonna
not
be in
gonna
the back.
But I mean, they might
Yeah.
see it though, and then be like, "What the hell's going on?"
Yeah.
Then you
No.
got to explain that.
No, we don't.
No.
We expose our kids to
Yeah.
all types of violence.
one of the things that my
Pretty
ex
good.
was going to bring Casey to Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
And I don't mind the cursing. I don't mind them being in underwear and stuff like that. But I think they were showing pornos on the screens while they were playing.
Yeah, sometimes the
Well-
stage imagery can be different or adult.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's true.
wouldn't take them to the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
You would?
But
Yeah.
like,
Well, I don't think of Red Hot Chili Peppers and
I think
Newfound
they're more
Glory.
mild.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Red
They're
Hot Chili
really-
Peppers, they're 60 years old, dude. They're like,
yeah, but the dong socks and the
no,
They're not
porno.
doing that
was
now, though.
30 years ago, man.
No, I know, but I'm just saying. I think Newfound Glory skews a little younger, like a little
Right.
more
They do.
poppy. You know what I'm saying? Like there was a time when Green Day was like kid friendly. I feel like you would take your kid to a Green Day concert because they were so poppy that it's like they're playing.
Yeah.
What's that? The most famous pop Green Day song?
Oh,
Like,
well, the
American Idiot?
ballad.
No, probably Good Riddance.
Yeah. Is that the ballad
Yeah.
kind of time of your life?
turning point.
Yeah.
But there's other, or
Yeah,
do
like
you suck?
kids like
Am I
that.
paranoid, or do I suck, or something like
yeah,
that? Yeah.
I mean, there used to be a little more punk. Anyway, I'll tell you what happens.
Can't
I'm
wait.
glad you
Is
asked
that-
my advice on that.
I'm
Yeah.
excited.
Well, there's
about
nothing
it.
I could do now because now if I even interject or say my opinion, it makes my wife mad, and then she's like, "It's a thing, it's a fine," and then I'm like, "I'm just telling you guys
Yeah.
because I'll tell you what happened."
Yeah. Do you need? I have an extra pair of. I have 2 pairs of drum gun mufflers. If you do need them.
Again,
I do
What a gun mufflers,
Crystal
what a
do a
gun-
handle. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure she's got a,
Oh.
some sort of ear plug. Although I did, I've never been good with my son's ear health. When Max was like 4 months old,
Yeah.
I took him to St. Augustine with my pop.
Yeah.
And then maybe this was Tommy. I think it was Tommy when he was under 6 months, and we were standing on top of the St. Augustine Fort, and
I believe it was Tommy.
The cannons were about to go
forgot
off,
about that.
and I'm like, oh, and I plugged my ears, and I'm holding him, and it blew his eyes cross-eyed.
Yeah.
So here's my bet. With no ear protection, maybe even with ear protection, my bet is that you don't last the entire show.
Oh, yeah, I'd bet on that, too.
Yeah, I think definitely I'll give it a half an hour tops, and you guys are probably moving on to maybe get some chicky fingers and
Yeah.
Because if it does hurt your
drink.
ears, their ears are way fresher.
Oh, it hurts my ears now.
Yeah, it does.
I have to get used to it. Like that initial shock of the show. Oh, you got a hearing aids now.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about this last time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about it.
But I also have Alzheimer's, so we could go over it again. Let's
do it.
I'm fine.
I think Crystal will probably bring some earmuffs or whatever.
Gotta have the muffs.
Although my sons stay up late as hell. Like they didn't go to bed till 11:30 last night. Like,
isn't that fun?
Over the weekend, it was like past midnight. It's insane.
I'd say that's fun. Yeah.
So Jeff.
Yes.
Let's talk about like your hobbies at home.
Because he's cleaning, sweeping his trails. He's got all the
Besides
trails.
The ones that don't involve tissues.
Let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah. Okay.
How does a older gentleman?
Do you stick? Because I feel like I have been looking at the same sites for 10 years,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
what's new?
I
don't know where to find the new stuff. And used to go to Daniel, and then he's telling me the same sites.
No,
I
I
look at.
really?
I
Yeah.
changed mine now. I no longer do. I used to be massage videos where it was at.
Yeah,
And
but what's the torrent site that you use?
I
It's
don't
always,
use torrents. I still go to the same ones.
Okay, like X videos,
Pornhub and X
Pornhub,
videos.
Yeah.
But I've changed
Quality.
Well,
Yeah.
what's the new ones?
There aren't any new ones really. Pornhub is still like your big dog.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
a lot of the other ones.
It comes up first on Google.
It really
Yeah,
does.
yeah,
But like
yeah.
I've
9
changed.
times out of
No
10.
longer am I into the Nuru massage. Now I'm into they're called extreme fights.
Whoa.
Yeah, you talked about this. Yeah, the
Yeah.
MMA. Have you seen those videos?
No. So the naked fighting?
Yeah, naked fighting.
Well, it's more like it's an
Simulated
It's like
wrestling.
an act
Yeah.
of
okay.
like
wrestling
you
It's
wrestle,
kinda
but
like
then
wrestling.
it turns into
with penetration.
Oh, don't say it.
Not always. Not always.
But I did tell Daniel there is an odd point where because they're fighting the whole time.
Yes.
So no matter what, one of them is struggling as the other one is
Yeah, it's like trying to untie her bikini top.
Yeah, so it's a little rapey, like it's that tiny,
Yeah.
but even it's an act.
Yeah.
Right.
It's, they're pretending to fight.
Oh, they
but
talk
they're-
about it ahead of time. They
they're
do the
struggling.
weigh-in.
Yeah,
They,
yeah.
they interview each person.
I've seen Japanese game shows like this where they're wrestling in oil, and then the female's struggling.
Yeah.
But it's kind of fake, but she's still struggling.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
like,
It's kind of like
that
me.
a little rapey.
It's kind of like me doing a put on
Right,
when
it
I've
is,
got
yeah.
on socks and I'm on like a linoleum floor. I'll do that put on where I'm like, whoa. It's like it's not real, but I'm
Yeah.
still kind of.
But you are still slipping.
Yeah, I'm slipping.
You're
but
pretending
I'm
to
giving
slip.
You full slips.
Yeah,
For
but
the crowd.
It's
Yeah.
a little slippy.
Yeah.
It is a little
slippy.
Y'all are way too young to be jaded about porn.
Are you kidding me? Me and Tom have watched every video that's
I
been
know,
produced.
but
Every
that's what
single
I'm
one.
saying. You're way too young. See, like when I was a kid, literally, if you could find a Playboy, that was like the mecca, a Playboy. But if you couldn't find a Playboy, there were magazines with bra, ads in them.
Oh,
Like, but then, you graduate and you get Playboy and stuff like that. And then and then all of a sudden videos come out. But then you're tired of the videos. You got to put more action in the video. So now you got people fighting and slipping.
In any category at any time, you can see unlimited amount of pornography, which has got to do some sort of psychological damage,
absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
It shouldn't be that easy to get a hold of stimulating content endlessly for free on your phone at any time you want.
Anything you can think of.
Yeah.
I know, but here's the deal: is it's a shame that you get bored with something that brings you so much pleasure.
Yeah. Well, you're ruining because there is an element to everything, and but we don't treat like entertainment or stimulation like we do food. Like you can't eat ice cream every day for every meal. It'll make you sick.
Write that down.
It'll ruin you. So can you do this for your brain?
But you can see how people get somehow or another get into S&M, it's not just they one day say, I want to get whipped or
You
I
think
want to
it's
get
like
beat.
they run out of
They run
normal
out of stuff, yeah, and they're trying different
See, I'm
things.
going back down
Yeah.
where I've reached the top, right?
Yeah.
Where I'm going back down where, like, now it used to be I had to have evolved fights with attractive people.
Yeah.
Now it's evolved fights
Yeah.
with just any
Anybody.
chungus.
Have
you
y'all
know.
ever, done a little pain with your significant
Andrea's
other?
not into that.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
pain.
Yeah,
I give her
I
enough
did.
mental pain.
Yeah,
Mental
yeah.
anguish.
About 3 years ago, I tried a little,
Dabbled in the
S&M.
pain, yeah.
Yeah. No, see, I can't be the S guy.
You're the
because
M guy.
The sadist guy. I can't be the sadist.
You're the
because-
masochist.
Well, I can't hurt somebody,
Yeah.
So I was the masochist, and it didn't work well because my safe word was ouch.
I like that.
I support
I knew
that.
it was going.
Yeah,
towards
I knew
the
it was
joke.
going to. I was like, what? Where's it
Took
going?
too long.
How's it going?
Took too long.
No, it was great.
No,
It was
I'm
great.
going home.
Just when you mentioned,
Nah,
when you
bring-
started
bring-
it, I
bring
was
the
like, no
announcer
way
back.
this
Bring
is
the
real.
announcer
back. Well, where's your banana jacket?
It's kind of hard to follow a guy in a banana
Yeah,
jacket.
I know.
Yeah.
No, like Jeff, seriously.
Ouch.
You can't you know what you're into at this time. You're not finding
Yeah, you
any
know what
sort
you're
of
into,
new
right?
thing.
Oh, yeah.
You,
Oh, yeah.
You're
Yeah.
still finding new stuff?
No.
I still
I mean, I'm
find-
having sex, but I'm just not doing anything new.
Yeah, you know what you like. You're
Yeah,
stuck
well-
in
It's
your
like going
ways.
to your same
Wait.
seafood restaurant like my dad. Down
Yeah.
the hatch, fried flounder,
Yeah.
French fries, salad, Catalina dressing, 2 Jack and Cokes, and then he dies.
Is this BDM or is this corporate time?
Corporate.
Okay,
You can-
scratch the story. No,
You can clean it up and say
I don't think I can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, all right, that's fine. We'll tell it one day on a BDM show.
Yeah.
Um,
But anyway, no new stuff. No new stuff.
I'm finding some new stuff.
Are you?
Yeah, like a lot of these on the train. That's a new one. On the
What?
train. And now the new one.
but the
is-
train
Oh,
one,
you're talking about porno. You're talking
Yeah, I'm
about porno.
talking about
I thought
porno.
you
Always
meant
talking
your-
about porno.
Your
When aren't
significant
I?
other.
the packed train one is a little slippy too.
It is a
like,
little slippy.
because like that one is like, well, does she want this?
Yeah.
No, that's
she's
not what I'm talking about.
telling no.
These are on a train, just in a cabin on a train. It's
Yeah.
not like the people on the
Yeah.
train.
Oh yeah.
And that one, and then the newest one that I'm not really into,
Yeah.
and I think it's because of this fact, there's a disconnect, is the new thing are couples
Yeah.
that will film, and they look amazing, like amazing bodies, both of them,
Yeah,
man and
yeah.
woman, but they will not show their faces at all.
Yeah.
It's always shot from chin down,
Yeah.
everything,
Yeah.
and you never see their faces, so they
Oh!
can keep a level of anonymity.
Yeah.
And there is a disconnect with me. If I can't see your face,
Yeah.
then I don't want to see your
That's
video.
like a boob
Interesting.
without a nipple. It's like a boob without boob without a nipple is nothing.
Yeah,
I would take a boob without a nipple.
No, but you're
Yeah.
not
But
right.
I see what
It's
you're
a-
saying.
it's a
Because
smooth.
you're always once they have it right here and everything, you go, come on, I just want to see that. nipple."
Oh my
Well,
God!
I'm kind of a-
Jesus Christ.
I'm kind of a
Write
boob
that
guy.
down, Sam.
I might have to run to your restroom real quick.
God,
So
stop! Put your banana jacket
you
in
know,
your mouth and stop
Jeff,
talking.
yes, see, because I love boobs. Boobs are my favorite part. So when they're starting off in the porno and they get the top off and they're doing the boobs, I'm going, yeah, and then all of a sudden I go, no, don't start having sex. I just want to see the boobs. I don't want to see the
Oh,
sex.
you're a softcore man.
Yeah,
All right.
super soft.
Let's change topics.
I used to work out there.
Jeff,
Sir.
let's talk about the way you shop currently. Seriously.
Oh man, boy,
know-
I'm glad I didn't bring that list. Okay.
I thought that was on the list.
What a transition
It
here.
says shopping habits right
shopping
here on the
list.
Yeah.
Shopping list.
I made my own list.
Yeah, apparently.
What? But-
Number 5.
Because I feel like as malls and stores close down and everything becomes internet based,
Brick
right?
and mortar,
it does.
yeah.
And everybody shops through Amazon and everybody's ordering
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
clothes. So you have to transition because the stores that
Yeah.
you went to,
Yeah.
even though you didn't go and buy clothes that often, but you still have to eventually. Like,
Look at these new jeans.
I saw the new
You see
jeans.
these jeans?
That's
Yeah.
what made
Those
me
are
ask.
dungaree.
Wow,
Yeah, I
those
know.
are dark walls.
So,
Yeah,
so where
Why
do
are you going
go?
dark? You got farmer jeans.
I like
know.
them. I like them.
Here's the deal. I bought these.
Those are, and they're stiff as hell.
I know.
Those jeans, I swear
Did
to
you
God,
see me
they-
walk in here? I couldn't bend my
They
knees.
literally belong to a train conductor.
I
Look
know.
how they're brand new.
They're
Thick. They're those.
They'll last a while.
My God.
They're kind of cutting me in the back.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like old,
But-
like Hager slacks on our president.
Here's what happened. What do y'all know about of everything that you know about me? What do you know about me the most?
Huge ding dong.
Okay, besides huge ding dong.
Cheap.
Yeah.
Cheap.
Don't like to
Big
spend
ding
money.
dong.
So I was buying faded jeans for 30 or 40 years because I like the look. I like the look of faded jeans.
Worn in.
But Amazon will sometimes send you the wrong jeans. And so I ordered Levi's from Amazon.
Send him the raw denim.
Yeah, and they sent me, these are the stiff ones that you get when you're a kid, when your mom and dad buy you jeans.
Yeah.
And they last 1,000,000 times longer, which saves that money.
Okay, all right.
And
Yeah, but it's like wearing sandpaper.
I know. And yeah, well, it's about the only action I get nowadays. Yeah.
All right.
And so you get them off Amazon, and so you get your clothes. Is it just like
Amazon
I get
Basics?
everything but food. Everything but food. And I hate that I do that because I'm part of the problem, because he will be one of the big corporations of the Orwellian future.
Already is,
Amazon,
yeah. It's already there.
So I hate giving him money, but the way I combat it is I order like little small things, that only cost like a couple of bucks.
Yeah.
And it costs him like $3 to ship it.
Give it to the
Yeah,
man.
get it.
I like that. That's like
I'll
something Tom would
teach
do.
He's wall-eyed too, isn't he? Bezos.
What does
I think he's
wall-eyed mean?
I think that means one eye's going this way
One's
and one eye's
looking at
going
the wall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
looking at the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does have a weird.
Well, you think unlimited money could fix that?
Fix your
right?
eyeball. Yeah.
Oh, I know. Like for
Put
instance,
some hair on your head.
and I don't want to get on the political side of it, but with as much money as Trump,
Oh,
you know,
here we
claimed he
go.
had
We got an
and everything.
EC3 over here.
Yeah. Why not get either a great hairpiece or a club for men, or do the thing? Apparently, he has enough hair to pull out in the back to put up front.
Oh, and he can get cadaver hair or
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
whatever,
Do they do that now?
Oh,
Cadaver
I'm,
hair? Yeah.
I'm sure.
Oh, I might look into that.
He could buy the hair from
hair of
a
a dead
human
man.
that matches his.
Would
Yeah,
you
that's what
wear-
hair club for men.
Would you wear a dead man's hair?
But no, I would have them implant.
You had a system.
I had a system. Yeah, it was
Tom
called.
didn't
Look at
believe
this.
me. I told
Yeah.
you he had a
Yeah,
system.
I was
No,
hair
you
club for
told-
men.
yeah.
It's on the Blues Dumps CD. It actually looked good.
It did look good.
But you
I
gotta
look- I look
glue
like
it
a-
to your head every morning.
No,
You-
No, not every
Snaps.
morning. No.
It was snaps.
No,
right?
no, it wasn't even snaps.
Didn't
no,
you have a snap piece?
No. That was a lower budget thing. I went high dollar on this. What they do is they shave your head in a Ben Franklin. Okay.
Oh, I want that.
Okay, they shave your head in a Ben Franklin. Then they find human hair that's just like yours, and they weave it into a mesh. So it's a big. It's a
Like
big
a bird's
animal.
nest.
Yeah, it's just a big, and it has a little half-inch strip around the whole thing, and they put God's most adhesive super glue to it, and they glue it to your head.
Oh, I want that.
And that thing is not coming off for a month. It's not coming off for a month. And the reason I got rid of it was two things. One, it was so hot in Florida, it would just burn up, on the inside. You just, and the second
a pocket
thing is,
full of water underneath there.
it was in my crazy days when I was drinking and playing, and
Oh, yeah.
who knows. So I'd get in fights every now and then, and all I could think of was, man, what happens if I get in a fight and some guy comes up with a bloody
your wig off?
beaver pelt in his hand? Yeah,
punch your
yeah.
wig off.
Yeah.
That is the most disrespectful thing you can
Yeah.
do to a man who wears
God, so
a
you
hair
get-
system is to rip it off and hold his bloody hair in your
Yeah.
head.
So you win the
Stuff
fight.
it in his mouth. That's what you do.
Yeah. So I got rid of it. And one time it was so hot.
Do you still have it? Is it in your
No, I
order?
did have it. And the guy before you were on the Monsters, the guy, the president
I was
of it.
never on the monster. Don't ever.
Okay, sorry about that.
It's a joke. Come
Sorry
on,
about
it's a
that.
joke.
But the guy, the Hair Club for Men president, came in, and it was after
You like the way you look.
Yeah, it's after I had already taken mine off and used it in my show, a bunch. So it was just covered with grease and beer and everything. So Russ said, wear it and bring it. And so I came in, and he goes, yeah, one of our guys is a client. And I came in with just this
Oh, my God.
matted little
That's
piece
hilarious.
of auburn hair on my head. Yeah.
What'd you spend for it?
Oh,
Couple thousand.
no, about 2,500. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have to go back every month and then
No,
they
6
re-glue
weeks.
it?
6 weeks. What happens is the oil in your skin eats the glue up, so it'll start coming off after about 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So you go back.
First week is convertibles only, and then
Yeah.
everything else you gotta be a little.
And you
little
go
more
back
careful.
and they trim your hair, to match that hair. And then, but what happened was it was August, and I brought it back, and they pulled it off, and that air conditioning hit the top of my head, and I went, leave it off. I don't want it.
I wonder
take
if you
it
could grow like some fungus or something underneath there. With the humidity in Florida, you would think that could
Yeah.
almost be like a
off.
like a
But it's
problem.
porous, so
Oh,
I guess
oh,
they're washed.
Have you seen the thing that they're doing where people are tattooing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a lot of Latin. It's very popular, like with Latin friends of mine, in like guys that like permanent, like really good edged out hair.
You get the dots.
And if you have naturally you have dark hair, you can get the dot tattoos, and it looks really good.
Yeah.
It's like a 5 o'clock shadow, right?
Yeah.
Like permanently on your head.
Yeah.
You should get the Latin dots.
Yeah. My hair's blonde anyway.
But
you can't
get blonde
see the damn. Yeah.
That would be.
I'll do it.
The white dots.
Do you shave your head now?
No, I don't call it shaving. I use a beard trimmer.
Okay.
And I take the adapter off, and I just,
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Can you get it removed so you never have to do that anymore?
That's what I would want to do.
Like laser, could you laser your hair on your head? Like Ideal Image or something like that?
Yeah.
Would that work?
I'm sure it would.
Because I'd get tired of shaving my head every morning or whatever. It's a pain in the ass. Like, just laser it off.
Yeah. Well, the trimmers are great because it can grow out a little bit. I won't have to do it but once a week. And once you got it this short, you can just, every morning you just go, and it's nothing. Just kind of maintenance, but it's fun.
I've always I sometimes you see a guy that's like, especially if he's like buff, if he's bald, and you're like, oh yeah, that's the way you're supposed to look.
Yeah,
it looks
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Like
I was never buff. I did it one time when I was real skinny. And I went to my first gig, because and people go, no, don't.
Hat's just easier.
Hat's way easier.
Yeah.
Let's talk hoarding because
I see that's on your list.
Yeah.
So when you're a hoarder,
Yeah.
this is what I don't understand: is it when you go to a hoarder and then you pick up the box of garbage
Well, you have
that's
a
on the
little
top
bit
of
of
a
this.
stack.
I don't want to pile on, but you have a little bit of this within your
Oh, yeah, that garage?
Yeah, your garage is very it's hoarder light.
But I feel like if anybody picked up anything in my garage and said, "Can I throw this away?" I would say, "Please, break me from the shackles of this mess." I'm just too lazy to do it myself.
Me too.
And then my wife, she's the one that's emotionally attached.
She
to
holds
things.
on to memory.
Yeah.
So
That's me too.
if I throw away anything, then she's gonna be like, "Where's my frames?"
Yeah.
And then
I've
I'm
been
like,
saving those. Those are my precious keepsake frames.
and so I give up. I'm like the husband in hoarder. So now I'm just sitting on top of a pile
They
of
never
garbage.
say anything. They're
smoking
always like,
on
you
my
got to work
computer.
this out with mama.
Yeah.
You're going to have to work this out with mama.
I'm just the husband that gives up, right? Like I'm contributing to it. I'm also an enabler naturally.
I
so
never thought with buying her more of these keepsake frames that I was ever doing anything wrong.
I'll cook you a 12-egg breakfast if you fuse yourself to the couch.
Yeah,
because,
exactly.
like, I just want to make you happy. Anyway, but what is it when you ask the hoarder, like, here is a box of garbage, and everybody in the world knows it's garbage.
Yeah.
And you, I think, in your heart know it's garbage. Why can't you throw it away?
I really think that, especially when you get to be my age, you just live off of memories.
Oh, okay.
Life's over.
So it's like The Notebook.
It's like over. Yeah.
Hold on, that actually that makes a lot of
Well,
that
that
makes a lot of
makes-
sense.
You live, and I have a briefcase that
memories
that I bought in Mexico from Clutch. And it's all my Clutch. I even have a notebook in there
cool.
where I wrote my first song. Yeah.
But do you look at
that's
it?
actually pretty cool.
Yeah. It is.
Do you look at it at
It's
all?
cursive too.
Because it's like my wife's with the wedding photos and the video.
Well,
and
hold
all
on a
the-
second.
Yeah.
Wedding photos and video should be kept. I don't put that in the hoarding category. You were talking about a box of junk.
She's
like your wife's. Okay,
But even any of it.
No, hold on.
I'm
no.
like, we never even looked at this.
No, I got to help your wife out here because wedding photos and a video of your wedding is completely different than the French witch.
No, you're
One
right.
is a papier-mâché haunted lady in a chair that is trash. The other are memories that your sons and daughter, anybody else, your family, you, her, can look at, and it is your wedding day. Way different, dude.
But it's on the spectrum of stuff you never ever look at or even go through.
Like I'll
Okay,
never
we'll
look
agree
in
with
this
that.
briefcase.
And then you're just
I can agree with that.
You're just holding on to it
Yeah.
because it is memories.
Yeah.
But just like,
Actually-
what's good is it if you never look at it?
Yeah, actually, now that I think, every time I open up the briefcase, I get horribly depressed. Oh my God!
Why do I have this?
Stupid song I wrote. I wrote one for my sister,
A song.
First song I ever wrote.
Okay.
And I totally ripped off Nitty Gritty Dirt Band on a B-side.
We just mentioned them yesterday.
Did you really?
My mom and dad took me to see Nitty Gritty Dirt Band at the Strawberry
Oh,
Festival.
man, see, that's the kind of thing you bring your kid to. You know, you
That's
bring your
what
kid
we
to
That
Nitty
was
Gritty
my
Dirt
first
Band.
concert. Was
Hello.
Strawberry Festival.
That's what we were talking
Feel
about.
that
My
muscle.
first concert
Yes.
was Loretta Lynn and the Nitty Gritty Dirt
Wow.
Band at the effing Strawberry Festival.
That's awesome. How much cursing?
None.
None.
Yeah, and Lee Greenwood.
Yeah.
And he sang Proud to be an American,
Oh.
which kind of shaped my ideology to this day.
Yeah. so anyway, yeah. So I wrote a song for my sister, and it was a terrible song. The melody was good because I stole it from Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, but it was so sentimental that like Barry Manilow would listen to it and go,
it's kinda gross. It's gross.
It was over the top with flowers and trees. You know,
Yeah.
I was just doing any cliche. Anyway, I couldn't. I really couldn't sing. I mean, worse than this. And I had a high
you're a good
nasal
singer,
voice.
but okay.
I couldn't sing in tune. My mom made me sing it for my Aunt Colleen, and she listened to the whole, and she was real brash and real harsh, to people.
Yeah.
Melted her. She sat there and did like this, and when I finished the song, it said, "And the flowers in your hair," like that.
Yeah.
And she looked at my mom. She goes, "Mary Jane," said, "Yeah. None of your children can sing worth an S."
There it
I
is.
swear to God, true story. True story. And that was a true story. It wasn't on the list. And I thought of it because of the topic.
I think Colleen I met one time only.
Yeah.
Didn't she
Yeah,
make a
she
trip?
came in on the show,
I
yeah.
remember that. She was
Yeah.
very nice, and man, she ripped me a new one, but then gave me like sweet hugs.
Yeah.
She was like a.
Yeah, you didn't get to meet her, but she was something. You got to find out about
super
this.
cool.
Yeah.
Well, Jeff, you did a good job today.
Yeah, I like
Alright.
your list.
I feel awkward without my list.
No,
I feel
you're better,
naked.
You're
I
better
feel-
without the list.
Okay. Okay,
Next
sure.
time, bring a box from your hoarding collection.
I will.
Bring just
I'll bring
a
the
box
briefcase.
of
I'll bring the
junk,
briefcase, and y'all open it up and ask me
Yeah,
about
and
it.
we'll go through it.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
So,
Take the
where are you going to
condoms
be
out
at,
of it.
Jeff?
I will be at House of Blues on Thursday. Friday night. Saturday night, I will be doing Linda Bird's retirement party.
There you go.
At the Crimson House.
We weren't invited. Weird.
Well, she doesn't like him.
No.
Yeah.
No, and me by association.
Yeah, and
Bring me up.
yeah,
yeah.
She loves that.
And report back.
I will. I will. I will.
Michael
And,
tells me.
and then Sunday, if you're not invited to that party, I'll be at Tibby's New Orleans Kitchen in Altamont Springs from 11 to 2 for their Sunday brunch.
There you go.
Perfect. Well, Jeff, thanks so much
Had
for
a
coming
great
by.
time, guys. Thank you.
All right, we'll be back tomorrow with another Corporate Time. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producers here. Hello, Sam.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
I see you brought a homeless person. Mondays or Wednesdays, you brought a homeless person sitting here. Look at
Tuesdays.
that.
Tuesday? Sad Boy Tuesday.
Yeah, Sad Boy Tuesdays. You brought this gray-haired man. No, EJ is here to do his bit, and I'm just going to break the ice. I like you better with the salt and pepper
Just a
beard.
little bit of gray in there.
I like it.
Okay.
It's less off-putting than Jet.
Jet black.
Yeah. Purple black.
Yeah, space
The only reason
black.
why is because I'm running low on that just for men stuff.
It's expensive, isn't it?
It's like $7 a
It is.
thing.
It is
Yeah.
expensive.
Now, you'll go full claws if you let it go.
if I don't do it, yeah, it'll go full claws.
You got
probably.
white or gray white?
It'll be this color.
Okay, hold on. You get the biker yellow white beard?
Maybe, yeah.
The
You-
nicotine-
yellow when they get that. No, it's sometimes I don't think
that's
it's nicotine.
smoking. That's smoking.
No, I don't think it's all. Sometimes bikers get like it's almost like,
Well, it's from being around smoke.
Yeah.
or
They're
I
usually
think,
at
or
bars.
like marinara or something in there.
Oh,
Food, it's food and smoke. Yeah,
yeah,
probably.
it's like the inside of a
Combination.
Tupperware. Like, you put spaghetti in,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you can't get the stain out.
Exactly. That doesn't happen at Lock and Lock though. Shout out to QVC. Sam, look that up because I don't think it is nicotine. I think it's.
If you have silver and white hair that is turning yellow, there are a few reasons why this might be happening. For some seniors, when their hair loses pigment, it has a yellow tone that naturally shows through, so
Yeah.
hair color changes may be age-related or genetic.
Yeah, you get yellow. It's
genetic.
like jaundice. Your hair gets jaundice and turns yellow. It's another way to know you're dying. But
Oh, yeah, thanks.
EJ is here. Do you want the intro?
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna do the standard.
Yeah, we got to do the
EJ.
whole thing. We only let them do it once a month
I know.
now.
Okay.
That wasn't my decision.
Well, I tune in every Tuesday on Twitch.
I know,
to,
thank you,
Well,
Sam.
I don't know why you do because I tuned in one time.
Well,
and
I
was
have to
like,
provide the questions for his
the-
Ask Me
Yeah, it didn't
Anything.
help
like the
Ask Me
ramblings
Anything.
of a murderer on there.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
the
I
manifesto.
do realize I have a lot of ADHD when I'm doing
The
Twitch
only-
by
Yeah, you gotta
myself.
focus,
The
man.
only
Yeah.
difference between your video, and like some conspiracy theory guy in
It's
the
not
dark room
far.
smoking cigarettes difference is his production values are better. That's the only difference here.
When I see it, I freeze because I'm embarrassed.
My daughter now, whenever I say the word freeze, she goes, American cheese. I speak Chinese. Achoo, achoo. I think I need a tissue.
Oh, I thought she was going somewhere else at the end of that.
Yeah, she does like this whole thing now. It is a little it is.
I thought she was going somewhere worse.
Yeah, she's like, freeze, American cheese. I speak Chinese. Achoo, achoo. I think I need a tissue.
I think that's the 2022 pee-pee in your Coke.
It might be. Write that down.
Oh, you
Write
guys
that
have been hanging
down.
out
The kids-
EC3 too much.
They
Oh,
got-
no.
They got new ones. Here we go. Oh, I got to turn it up. Turn it up.
I can play it on my phone like I do on my Twitch broadcast.
Jock, nerd, jock, nerd.
If you play that song again, we'll sue you.
I was waiting for that.
I'll ask Mo for a
He
favor.
just holds his phone up to his iPad.
Yeah,
I
that's
knew a guy that
for
used to do that.
I'll
I knew a
ask
guy
Mo.
that used to do that in the mornings, and man, oof.
I'll ask Mo.
What are
I
you
mean, he
doing?
won't do it himself. He'll get one of his assistants to write you
yeah.
a cease and desist, and then we'll officially file the paperwork right after. All right. So what do we want to start with?
Oh, well, definitely got to start it off. Have you guys heard the new wrinkle of the Deshaun Watson?
The new
saga?
wrinkle.
Don't say that.
Don't say it like that. There
was wrinkles?
Yeah, there was wrinkles.
Oh man!
I heard about the new allegation.
But have you heard? It seems like his lawyer's trying to torpedo his whole case. If you like the video I brought in, it's ridiculous. Like his lawyer, it sounds like one of your listeners is a lawyer for Deshaun Watson.
All right. Well, I will say again, like my whole theory that they're going to suspend him the whole year. They wrote his entire contract, so his first
Just in case,
year
yeah.
is just $1 million out of a $60 million
Yeah. So, I think
guaranteed
it's
contract or whatever. So it seems like the lawyer was smart enough, or at least maybe in cahoots with the NFL or whatever it is, or they just are betting on the fact that they won't let him play this year. Because that was a smart and not talked about thing.
Pretty shrewd, yeah.
So he's not that dumb, but.
Well, wait to hear what he says.
So,
I imagine
now,
Deshaun
who-
Watson is paying him an insane amount of
Yeah.
money, right?
Is this his attorney? Who
This
is
is attorney. He's on a radio station, I think in Cleveland, and he's talking to two DJs, and he kind of lays his idea of the case down to like protect his client.
Okay.
Weird that he's going to the media.
Yeah, don't do
and
that.
Speaking it.
Oh,
Why?
yeah, this is the
This
reason
happens
why I
all the
don't believe
time.
it.
Like this happens all the time where you get like they'll speak to one small outlet or something. I don't know. It's
Oh,
weird.
I don't like that.
So
Are they
here we
trying to
go.
leak a narrative out? I don't know.
I don't know.
All right.
Control it.
I don't know how many men are out there now that have had a massage that perhaps occasionally there was a happy ending. All right?
What?
Maybe there's nobody in your listening audience that ever happened to. I do want to point out, if it has happened, it's not a crime. Okay? Unless
this guy.
you are paying somebody extra or so to give you some type of sexual activity, it's not a crime. And so at the end of the day, that's another thing that would affect conduct. Doing something or saying something or being a way that makes you uncomfortable is not a crime. And so we've had two grand juries find that, and nobody seems to want to listen.
Yeah, that's all you need right
All
there.
right. There
Well,
you go.
it's, when you're
It's very
arguing,
nuanced what he's saying, but at the same
Well,
time,
technically
it
he's right,
sounds
yeah.
horrible in the
Exactly.
public
Yeah,
eye.
of
Well,
course. But
that-
he's speaking as a legal money.
Yeah.
that's where he should have had the forethought to understand that the public is going to hear this a different way
Yeah.
than what you're intending to.
Yeah.
Don't have any sound bites, especially when you write this down
This
on
is
paper.
what you say in
You're just
court.
making
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
mad, because
Yeah, you are making them.
Well, the
Because-
fact that it's he's talking about criminality, so he's only dealing with the criminal side of it. But you also got to
Right.
deal with the civil side of it,
Correct.
which is the public court of opinion deals with that too. And you're going to run into a lot of trouble when you say stuff like that.
and
Oh, it's not illegal, but it's wrong.
Yeah.
But isn't there also allegations of him being forceful with these women?
That's
so
what
it's
they're
not
saying,
just
yeah.
because of quote unquote like sex acts. It's like these women were getting pressured into doing things they didn't want to do.
Yeah.
Or you know what
Yeah.
I mean? I think that's don't even bring that up, dude. Why are you even saying
Yeah,
that?
it's just a bad idea.
Yeah,
to
I wonder
do
why,
that
because
way.
it does seem like a very odd thing to even do. I mean, like, I remember a long time ago, I had a person that, and it really is this simple for me about like putting yourself in situations, and that was basically what this mentor, this person of like that I looked up to, was telling me. They're like, just don't even put yourself in a scenario, right?
No.
Yeah. Because once you're in there, it's almost like no matter what decision you make,
It's gonna be
whatever
bad, yeah.
you say is going to be scrutinized and ruined. So it's like, why even put yourself in the scenario? You didn't need
You're
to do
also
that.
being extremely demeaning to massage therapists by saying, "Oh,
Yeah.
well, most men have had this happen." It's like, I don't think that's true.
I think what he was trying to say is
How
like,
many
if you
men
go-
in this room have had that happen?
I've never been to a massage therapist.
I've been offered that.
Well,
so I
you've
guess
been
I'm
on.
one.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
one.
You're the one. because
One of three?
I went to only like 2 massages in my entire life, and it was like a spa.
professional.
Yeah,
Like,
it was like
one was a
yeah.
radio station sponsor.
Yeah,
and
ain't gonna happen.
Now I wanted
Yeah,
it
I think
to.
Deshaun
Does that count? I wanted it to the whole
I
time.
think he
Two
was
of
trying
three.
to point out that if it was included with the service, it's not illegal. Which I kind
That's
of
not true, though.
Yeah,
And I did bring my
Unless
own
you're in a
tiny.
state where
yeah. Unless you're in
that's
Las
legal,
Vegas or
but
whatever.
yeah, that is not legal everywhere.
I did bring
Yeah.
my own tiny towel and demand that I use that instead of.
It's like a wash rag.
That's
I bring my own sheets on trips. I don't like bed bugs.
That's what he did. I don't know if you knew.
Yeah, oh,
So he
yeah.
did,
Oh, God.
he did. And that's
Don't read that stuff.
But that's the
if
thing.
you can't read, don't read the legal documents.
No, it's bad.
Oh man, it's bad.
You
It
need.
ruined my day after reading some of it.
It's bizarre that this lawyer, who obviously with the whole contract and this thing was smart enough to do that, but not smart enough to understand that how PR works and like what they don't explain anything. Don't go to any media. You don't have to.
Yeah.
Don't do any of this.
No.
Like it's gonna already be all over the news when these civil cases start.
Yeah.
When the
hitting-
depositions go public, you're gonna read.
We're
They're
already
gonna
hearing
read all
them.
this stuff. Yeah, we
they're-
already know most of the depositions
there's
from the
already-
ladies. Yeah, that's why they're disgusting.
There's already one where he admitted that when he left, the massage therapist was crying, and
Oh,
then he
stop.
even
And he apologized to her.
He
He sent
apologized.
an apology
Now,
text to her.
obviously,
Yeah,
no-
I remember that one.
Now I know what the lawyer's arguing. Like none of this, like the court, the legal system deemed that nothing criminal happened. And
Yeah,
then
the grand jury passed on 2 of these cases.
and so now it's just civil, right?
Yeah.
But regardless, even if let's say 80% of the women accusing him are totally lying.
that
20%
20%
are, which is multiple people. You know what I'm saying? And then
Was that
Egregious.
24 now?
Yeah.
and you are
Is it?
I think so.
I think you're right.
And now you've become the highest paid NFL player in history, I think, with this guaranteed contract.
I think so, yeah.
And now he has, but with it guaranteed, he's guaranteed that money. You know what I'm saying? So, and you are the head of a franchise. The most important figurehead of an NFL team is the quarterback. And who else is going through these many scandals? A lot of the other NFL players have managed to skirt this. So it's like what your decision making is put into question. How good of a person you are is put into like all these other things beyond criminal is put into question. And so it's hard to argue that this guy did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
I don't even know anybody that's arguing that. People are saying, well, we don't know, none,
Well, it
like
sounded like
innocent
this,
to proven guilty.
this attorney maybe was, but other than him,
Yeah, no, and
the
then-
rest of us kind of look at this and we're like, okay, dude.
Well, we're not
Yeah, like, really?
We're not stupid.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Come on.
and
No.
don't tell us like, yeah, I know the semantics and the
I
legal
think,
system.
I think that you
Hey,
said it
now.
perfectly.
Hey,
That's what
Don't
people
get me
are.
involved.
That's
No, that's what
copyrighted.
people are going to be mad about. You nailed
Call
it.
them out.
About like when we hear stuff like that, right? When we hear stuff like this, the reason people get angry is because like, well, now you're just insulting our intelligence now, right?
Yeah.
Come
and,
on.
And this is why I think they basically he doesn't play this next year, and they basically suspend him for the year, is because no one believes that I've ever talked to that he did nothing wrong whatsoever.
Right.
No, he did not do
And-
nothing wrong.
And he's already, it's not like you're taking this guy's livelihood or career away. He's already won. $250 million
Right.
guaranteed or whatever, the highest paid contract.
It didn't seem to hurt him at the trading table.
Yeah, exactly. So,
No.
so I don't think America or the world sits well when they sit back and be like, well, it's not like if they, took your whole career away without proof or something, but you've already signed a $250 million contract.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to do some sort of, there's going to have to suffer some sort of repercussions, right? Because
Well,
if
we
not,
keep saying that. We'll see. We'll see.
that's what I think.
Yeah.
I bet.
I want to see 2 years down the road. I want to see where the story is at 2 years from now.
Well, that is going to be
Interesting.
the NFL.
Yeah.
And
Do you ever get a
Cleveland-
massage again if you're him?
No,
You
you
can't.
cannot.
No way.
Never again.
Never again, right?
Only
Never
ma-
again.
I don't even think
massages
you get
ever
male
again.
masseuses at that point.
No, I don't think you ever get a
No.
I think you have to like forego that. Even at the Browns training facility, they're like, everybody, all right, hit the showers, hit the massage. Not you. Not you.
Because you risk someone taking a picture of like something.
Yeah,
Because like,
you're a meme. You're an instant. You're just laying there getting a regular good old massage, and next thing you know, you're a meme.
yeah.
Yep.
All right, next story.
Okay, next story. So Orlando City's off for the FIFA break, right? Is that the reason why they're off for the next 2 weeks?
I guess so. I was
promised
to Sam
they would
about
talk about
that.
soccer, and I'm trying to at least branch out.
Well, no, I was talking to Sam about that. I was like, when is the last time they played? And it was like last Wednesday.
Yeah.
And we got beat.
And they're off till the 15th.
I know we're on a bit of a
play-
slide right now. It all started with that hell of a terrible match against, I think it was against Austin FC, where we went down to 9 men. We had 2 red cards, and the ref lost control of the entire. It was
Really?
just
Okay.
terrible, absolutely terrible. Like the officiating in the MLS is garbage. It's just straight
It's really
garbage.
bad?
It's almost unwatchable. It's terrible.
I wonder why they don't put more money into officiating. Like it seems like the NFL, there's always games and things that happen, and I know they make a lot of money at that level, but they should be making more, right? Like there's so much billions, dude. The Denver
Yeah.
Broncos, and not to hijack your
That's
bit
fine.
here,
No, go ahead.
But did you hear about the
Hey, it's on brand.
the John Elway thing with the Denver Broncos sale?
No, I didn't hear about this. No.
So back in the 90s when John Elway was paying the owner of the Denver Broncos, basically they owed him like $20 million or something in his
Okay.
contract. And the owner basically offered him like 10% ownership of the Denver Broncos,
Okay.
and then another 10% if like for whatever other pay, right? It equaled like 21 million total, and that's what they were going to
They
give
were
him
still
20%
owed, yeah.
of the Broncos.
Oh my God.
That's a huge.
They're
Yeah.
about to sell the Broncos for $4.5 billion.
Yeah.
And that 20% would be worth $900 million that John Elway. Because he didn't take the deal. He didn't want
Oh, so you went like J.G. Wentworth and had someone
So
paid it
I
off
didn't
instead?
know that. Oh my God.
So
Are you serious?
when the sale of the Broncos happens, John Elway could have made $900 million.
Oh, yeah, and
$900 million. And that's like, someone, hey, you want to buy this 1,000 Bitcoin and 2003?
Oh, yeah. Or
and then
I
you turn
used it on
down.
a pizza. Yeah, I heard a lot of that story. Like I bought a pizza with Bitcoin.
But
instead of keeping it. Yeah.
but that's still not even close to $900 million.
No.
That's almost $1 billion. Like he would be, because I think he's got $100 million now.
He's doing okay.
He would be
Yeah.
a billionaire after the sale of the Broncos if he would have took that deal.
He'd be one of the highest paid athletes because like LeBron just hit $1 billion this year.
Would
didn't
Would Elway be the only billionaire horse in existence?
Anyway, next story.
It's funny that he played for the Broncos and he looks like a horse.
That man's fade, my God, and I used to call old Matt Ryan it's like Horse Junior. That guy,
Yeah. You get the long
teeth.
Well, it's
Yeah.
usually those old
And
quarterbacks.
long in the teeth means
Peyton Manning looks the same way too.
My dad used to use long in the tooth as a derogatory term for women. He'd be like, "Oh, she's looking a little long in the tooth," which I think means like a horse.
Yeah,
right? Where your
that's the
teeth are
reason
getting-
why.
you
Yeah,
got-
Because your gums
the gums
recede.
recede over
yeah,
time.
your gums recede because your body's dying.
Yeah.
That's
John
a
Elway,
horrible
though,
thing to say. Horrible
like
thing to
Peyton
say.
Manning looks like he takes care of himself. Elway looks like he has drinks every day.
Yeah, every day.
No, Peyton Manning looks like a Megamind every day because
Yeah.
his receding hairline goes higher and
What's
higher.
Yeah, but
weird
that's
about-
receipt. Yeah, but he looks healthier. I'm saying
I guess.
Elway looks like a alcoholic horse.
Damn.
Yellow alcoholic
You know what
horse.
he looks like? BoJack Horseman.
Yes, he
The
does.
cartoon BoJack Horseman is John Elway, alcoholic horse actor.
He's Bo Jack Daniels Horseman. All right, next story.
Okay, next story. We got to talk about the playoffs. Both the NHL and NBA, they're both almost in the finals because the NBA is in the finals.
God,
Boston and Golden State, which is 1-1.
The Lightning are really having a battle.
They're
This
down
is-
to 2-1, and Colorado's just waiting for whoever wins that game now because they went 4-0 against
well,
the Oilers.
It's not going to bode well for Colorado because it's not boding well for the Lightning.
Yeah,
having
having
that
that time
momentum.
off, yeah.
Momentum is king. I really believe that. I think you believe the same way. Like I'm not a fan of the getting to the series super quick and then you have to sit for a week or two.
Yeah.
Like I think the Lightning were sitting like for a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I think you kill your
That's-
momentum.
Yeah. But I think they're going to go to Game 7 with the Rangers. I think it's going
Last
7
night almost
games.
killed me.
Yeah.
The lightning game. I mean, it's just like they're scoring like the last 30 seconds or a minute. It's like, come on, y'all. Jeez Louise.
Hey, a win's a win no matter
Plus,
how you do it.
I got used to my baseball, which I can
With
plan
no
it out.
anxiety.
Yeah,
Slow.
Yeah, I can plan it out.
You got the professor giving
I'm
you.
sports crazy. Like, I watch anything. If it's
That's
live,
what I've been doing lately.
I
Just
put
pop
it
on some sports in the background
Yeah, it's fun.
while I'm either playing with the kids or whatever. We were
Super
playing
fun.
Pokemon trading card game with my daughter yesterday while we were watching sports.
So
Nobody was interested in
No,
that.
I know.
Yeah.
It was
Nobody
yeah,
cared.
Keep it moving.
Where do you get the rare? Because my sons like Pokemon cards.
There's
They
a-
don't want to play the game.
Don't
and-
get mad at me, but I went to a card shop over the weekend to buy baseball cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have all the Pokemon.
Yeah. Just buy a box. You got to get a big box.
It's expensive. It'll be like $150.
You're basically just playing the odds. It's the same thing as that.
Can I just buy the
You
rare
can,
ones?
but the thing is, you're spending more
You
than
will
you
spend
would.
more.
Yeah, because it's rare. You're paying for the rarity.
Like, for instance, I bought a box for me and May, and we started opening cards, and May pulled a $90 Wander Franco card.
yeah, and you probably spent $60 to buy the box.
A little more.
All right,
a little more.
yeah,
but we made
it made the box
yeah,
worthwhile,
I made
though.
our box
Yeah.
worthwhile because we got something good.
So
next
don't.
story.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go over to the nerd stuff then, for
All
sure.
right.
Okay. Let's. Well, we're talking about kids. I've been watching The Floor is Lava season 2. Have you seen that? The new one? How they changed the format of the show?
So this is the show that's like the kids' game, Floor is Lava.
Floor is Lava. Like you walk on the chairs and stuff like that, and you don't touch the floor.
Okay.
Because it's like, instead of doo-doo water, you make it red. And Floor is Lava.
And this really became popular during quarantine.
During quarantine,
because it just so happened that they were releasing the show, and then everybody's at home like Tiger King.
Yeah,
and
Tiger
all-
King, yeah.
And then people just started scanning through, found Floor's Lava. It became internet social media
yeah,
thing.
they did a good shit. And what they do now is instead of like just clipping the show together, now the team that just went stays in the rafters and watches the next team, so they could cheer against or cheer for the next team that's going against them. And then they have like a finals, like the Aggro Crag from Guts, like Nickelodeon's Guts at
What
the end.
happened to that show that Kevin Hart and The Rock had that was like this?
Oh, the Beast or whatever it was.
Do you remember that?
Was that
It was American Ninja Warrior, but like their brand of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And wasn't it Kevin Hart and The Rock?
I think it was just The Rock.
Or maybe it was just The Rock.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was the Beast. It wasn't. It was like, and then it was like CrossFit people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
How do you win CrossFit?
They have CrossFit
No,
competition.
there
They
was just
do,
one in
yeah.
Daytona. My friend,
Yeah.
the guy she's dating, they were out there because he was in the thing. But I it's a serious question. I'm not trying to Kenny Powers. Try to.
I think
get
it's
first
usually
place
by
at
timing,
exercise.
right?
Yeah, it's you go through a series of obstacles or challenges, whether it be like pull-ups, push-ups, burpees.
Titan
games?
Yeah, Titan games. Oh, yeah, that was
Titan game.
That's,
That
what,
was a
that's
Titan-
what it was called. The
Oh,
Titan.
that-
Yeah, the
Titan?
Beast was the other one. It was the other. That was the Netflix's version. Was the Beast, and I think Titan Games was on like CBS or
NBC.
NBC.
What was it? 2019, 2018?
2019 to 2020.
Yeah, it didn't.
Oh, that's not a good
Yeah,
sign for the
it
XFL
no,
with
no.
The Rock owning that
I
too.
know, right?
It turns out like watching someone just work out is boring. You need doo-doo water or
No.
red lava. You know,
Oh,
you need
they had
some-
this dad team the other day, on one of the first episodes, and they have like the little carrying case with the babies in there, and they had like fake babies in this guy, and this guy eat his face right on one of the obstacles. It was
But
hilarious.
back in 2013, The Rock also hosted a competition show called The Hero on TNT,
I
which
do remember
where
that.
contestants are tested physically, mentally, and morally for the title of the hero.
Yeah, they had a lot of
monetary prize.
soldiers and like
Okay.
army men and
So
Marines.
he's been in the
and stuff
game
like
for a
that.
while
Yeah,
doing
he
competition
loves a
shows.
good
He-
tactical
he
competition.
can stop working now, right?
The
Enough-
Rock.
enough.
He won't
No.
though.
He's
won't.
addicted to work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's driven all the time.
Too
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, that's the thing. Those type of guys, it doesn't matter how much money you make. It's just he's driven by the goal.
The meaning
That's
of
where he
life
works
is
out.
drive. Yeah, that's his
He's a
thing.
Miami alumni.
He's work out. I heard he's the nicest guy in the world.
He is
too.
very
Like,
nice. I've met him
never
twice.
heard
See what he
anything
did
bad.
for his mom?
No.
Okay, so I follow him on Instagram, and like I'm looking at these pictures. So basically, what he did is because he's Samoan, I guess, or
Yeah.
it comes from a long line of island people. He went and he
I
found.
saw Maui.
He found he found like different pictures that his
Moana.
mom
No,
hasn't
whatever.
seen since she was like a little girl, and then he had them restored, and he like framed them up for like her room. So he had all these like amazing like ancestral photos of her entire lineage, like conditioned and framed. It was awesome. I mean, like, oh my God, I'll never be able to do anything like that for any loved one I have because you know you have the ways and the means.
Or his assistant, he'd be like, make this for my
I know.
mom.
I wish I could do
piece
that.
of ass.
If I had an assistant, I'd be able to remember
His
like
ex-wife is his
anniversary,
agent.
when my daughter.
What if your assistant does? And
I
they're
don't
like,
have an assistant. I have nothing. I have to go up to Walmart myself and find something for my family.
But if you have kids, it's a good thing to watch with the kids because my daughter loves it. My son loves it. It's fun to watch. The comedians are really bad on it, but it's dad joke crazy, and it's fun to watch because they fail.
I guess they couldn't do this because they would never even make it past like the first obstacle. But the people that they choose, and I know they usually try to have like some theme, like
they had stand-up comedians, the dads. And it was ballet dancers, I think, in the first episode.
They're not fat enough for me.
You want fat dads doing it, right?
I want like fat.
Let's not say fat dads. Let's use the real term,
Dad
which
bods.
is every dad. Because I go to dance competitions and I see all the dads there. I'm actually in the lighter category. It makes me feel a little better seeing other dads because most dads are chungai.
Like EJ, I want to see like someone like you get up there.
I think I'd be okay
Hey,
in
look,
it.
we saw him jump up on that stage at the hurricane
I
party.
made it up.
And
My
I can't
knee
believe those
buckled,
knees
but it
didn't
was
move.
okay.
No, his knee went boom.
But he made it.
I made it.
His
I
knee
didn't
made
fall.
the noise that a saw makes when you poof the metal. Boom.
But you didn't do that move like an NFL lineman does where he jumps out of the pool and lands flat footed.
That is amazing.
You-
Still,
you-
my best day, I never could do that.
You hopped up on your side fat
And
then
you
you
almost caught your New Balance on the edge and smashed your cheeks.
You didn't do any athletic move anyway. So
I made it. That's all that matters.
I have a nerd topic.
Okay,
All
really? Oh, let's go! Wow.
Let's go!
Damn it.
Anytime anybody says
Copyrighted.
that. Yeah, let's go.
So I watched a commercial for the new animated movie Lightyear.
Okay, Buzz Lightyear,
The
yeah.
story of Buzz Lightyear.
I've already turned my back on this because
Correct.
they're not using America's hero, Tim Allen.
They're using Chris Evans.
using,
They're using Captain America.
which is killing it for me.
So my wife mentioned the same thing because when we were watching it, she's like, "That's not Buzz Lightyear's voice.
Nope.
That's a
Yep.
new voice."
Your
She's
wife's
like,
a goddamn good American.
But then she's like, "I wonder why they didn't use Tim Allen."
Oh, we know why.
And well, that's the thing. But I don't think that's the reason.
No, it's not the
Tim
reason.
Allen is 67 years old, and he's iconic for the voice of the toy Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah.
This movie is about the story.
Yes.
So if
About
We
the
already
actual
talked
human.
about
We
this
talked
on
about
Nerd
this.
Jock.
We
by
did
the
this.
way.
Yeah, a while
we did
ago.
this on Nerd Jock.
I
Yeah,
how much
it's
I
fine.
remember.
But I
That's
like talking
fine.
about it because I still think they should have used just for continuity and
Yeah.
the sake of like the franchise.
And this is what
I
Dan said
understand
last
what
time,
you're
too.
trying to do. I understand that it's like there's a war hero that my dad used to talk about. He's like a little guy named Audie Murphy.
Yeah.
Right. He's a war veteran, like a very decorated soldier. If he had an action figure and there was a series of cartoons where they used Audie Murphy's action figure
Mm-hmm.
and he had one voice, I can see where they like, you guys do know that he never sounded anything like that. He's really sounded like this. I see what they're doing. They're doing the origin story of the real
Exactly,
guy that
yeah.
was Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah.
But
And it follows with the continuity of the Buzz Lightyear that we know from the Toy Stories. It's a toy.
right,
yeah.
I get it.
And
but
that
I
they
just-
all
it-
have all these toys have different personalities. So if I had a Buzz Lightyear doll and you had a Buzz Lightyear doll,
They'd
yours
have
is
a
going to sound
voice,
different than
yeah.
mine.
Only Woody's friend, whatever the kid's name
Andy?
was. Andy.
How dare you?
Toy sounded
Andy's
like
coming.
Tim
Everyone
Allen.
got to
Should've
lay on the
known
ground.
that.
You know, I didn't know this is how forgettable this is.
How dare you not know who Andy
You
is?
guys set me
No,
up for
no, no.
failure on Saturday.
I'm
You're going to
talking-
set me on failure to now.
the Buzz Lightyear. Next story.
Okay, next story. Let's talk about let's go to the Sandman. Did you ever watch read the comic book by Neil Gaiman, The Sandman?
Very much so, yeah.
See, I was never into it, but I also
Enjoyed
love
it.
his other stuff that they put movies to. Like he also did Stardust. He did American Gods, which I used to love.
Oh, yeah,
and I
I
think it was
did.
underrated, and I think because it was on Stars, that's why I didn't do as well.
Sandman's a little dark, right?
I've never read the books, but I'm excited about this. I sent you the clip from the Netflix trailer because it's Nerd Week on Netflix. They're like releasing trailers for like the Umbrella Academy, which is coming out at the end of the month. Sandman's coming out in August 5th, which will be
Who's
fun to
in
watch.
Umbrella Academy?
It's Gerard Way's comic book. I can't remember.
No, I remember that. Isn't one of the girls in there? Who is it? The
it's
cast?
Ellen Page.
Elliot Page.
Elliot
Page.
Page.
Sorry,
You
I
gotta
dead
be
named her.
respectful.
God, I'm so
is,
bad
Is
at that.
Elliot reprising his role as?
Yes.
They will be
He
transgender.
is in season
In the
3.
new season,
yes.
Is the character transgender in the book? All right.
I don't know about in the
That
book.
I don't know.
In the book, I don't know, but in the show,
What?
she was transitioning to he. Yes.
Okay, I'm just wondering if in the book that was written, because when I'm not trying to make this stickier than it needs to be. I'm just trying to figure out like if because it's going to be a little weird, right? Because it is going to be different.
Well, it gives a new kind of
It normalizes
Yeah.
it.
It does.
Yeah.
100%.
And that's where I realized, because I like in the new Stranger Things, right? There's a lesbian character in Stranger Things, and when she'll talk openly about it, and no one will say any jokes or say what they would have in the 80s. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they do that on purpose so that it stops being the thing, and then kids that are watching
What pulled me out of the
you know,
fantasy was when they were wearing helmets in front of the house while they were skateboarding. That's what ruined the fantasy. For me,
No,
the
yeah,
80s show
yeah.
on Stranger Things.
Well, I'm just waiting for the person that's going to have an uproar, though. If it didn't have it, the reason I ask about the origin of the story, and somebody in the
if it
chat room kind of
changes-
mentioned
I don't
it.
know
Yeah.
how many people
saying it's too woke.
Well,
or
no,
whatever.
I wouldn't say that. I would say that they would say, well, why didn't you cast somebody
that really
that fulfills the character? If the character is a woman, shouldn't you cast a woman? If the character's trans, you should cast somebody who's transgender. If
Has the show surpassed the comic?
Probably.
Yet? That's what I'm thinking.
Probably, yeah, I
Because
think
he's
you're
still
right.
writing.
right? I think they're still
Other
doing.
volumes.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
enjoyed it. I thought it was really
It's not
good.
like Walking Dead just ended, because that's what volume
I'm just
4
waiting
was,
to see
yeah.
people get mad about it.
Oh, of course.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
it's someone's going
But
to get
it's
mad
good.
about no matter what.
Yeah, exactly.
But speaking of Sandman, I'm excited about it because it looks really interesting. It very reminds me of like kind of Lucifer at the same time as the American God
Here's
stuff.
a little bit of Sandman. I'll just give you a taste of this.
He's like the god of
I'm the king of
dreams.
dreams. Ruler of the nightmare realm.
What are you doing here, Etty?
He's coming, isn't he? Morpheus, the Neuromancer. You know the Sandman.
Oh, that's the lady
It's a
from
fairy
that's the bird lady from Home Alone, the pigeon lady.
Is it?
Looks just like her.
So
Sandman. Yeah, this sounds
Yeah.
good. This looks good.
They're going the dream realm before Doctor Strange does because Doctor Strange has a villain called Nightmare, and I think they're trying to beat him to the punch before they bring him into the MCU.
you know what I don't like about the Sandman?
Let's hear it. Come on.
You hate his name.
No.
Names
You don't like
for babies?
Morpheus, or is
No.
already done in Matrix?
I want him to be made of sand.
Yes. Well, he was.
He does. He blows sand in people's faces and stuff.
No,
he wants it
I
made
want
of
him to be
sand
Oh,
like in-
you
like-
want
like Spider-Man, whatever
Yeah.
the hell that guy
Well,
was.
he's not a spider.
No.
Sandman
the villain.
in Spider-Man. He was a villain.
Yeah.
He'd make like a big
Flint Marko.
He'd make like a giant hammer out of sand and
No.
El Kabong Spider-Man on the head.
Yeah. And was his name the Sandman in Spider-Man? Okay,
Yeah.
See,
Also,
that,
there's a trashy wrestler named the Sandman.
I
I
like.
liked him in ECW, where he used to come out to
I
Enter
think he was
Sandman.
just
in
an
Metallica.
old man.
No, he came out to Enter.
I understand that, but
Yeah.
I think his gimmick was, I'm just an tough old man.
See, that
Yeah,
Sandman.
with a kendo stick, and he smashed a beer on his head.
The Sandman from Spider-Man, I'm
Made of
all
sand.
in. Made of sand?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yes, Sandman, made of sand.
So Hydro Man, because he was made of water, you were fine with that
I
too?
want this guy to be named Dream Man.
Well, his real name is Morpheus.
Dream Man.
No, Dream Man.
I like Dream Man. I can get behind that because you're right. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, why do they call you Sandman? Well, I blow sand in people's faces. Well, why do you do that? Well, because they're going to go to sleep and dream. Why don't you just call yourself Dream Man? You know what? I've never thought of that.
I'll accept Sleep Man, Dream Man, anything
Well, his
with a
name is
bed.
Morpheus.
A bed
His
man,
nickname
not
is
like Morpheus.
Sandman.
Nappy Man.
Morpheus is
The napper.
red pill, blue pill,
Lawrence
Matrix.
Fishburne.
Yeah. That's how.
It's already been taken.
Yeah. I need Dream Man, controls the dreams. That's how, like
Sounds too positive, though.
Yeah.
Nightmare Man.
Nightmare Man. Yeah, anything.
Well, Nightmare's already been
associated-
taken. It's in MCU.
Well,
Well,
Nightmare
MCU.
Man.
Not Nightmare Man. Maybe.
Can we just say different universe like you nerds do all the time anyway?
God,
It's like,
here
I don't
we
Well,
know.
this guy's Sandman, and there's an actual
There's a
Sandman.
Sandman, yeah.
Who's
But
made
there's
of
also,
sand.
if you watch the Guardians movie, not Guardians of the Galaxy, the Guardians, which is that they had like Hugh Jackman was the Easter Bunny and Alec Baldwin was Santa Claus. There was a Sandman in that as well, and he was in control of people's dreams, and he blew sand. That's why you have like sleep in your eyes, because it's the Sandman.
Yeah, no, I know the whole.
What happened to Alec Baldwin?
Oh, you know. what.
I feel like his acting is probably a little rusty right now. Right? Oh, come on. A little rusty.
What else you got, AJ?
Okay, the next story. Definitely got to talk about Beavis and Butthead. The movie.
Really? Oh, okay. There's something new. I was gonna say.
They're gonna do a new
92.
movie on Paramount Plus, and man,
This will be a failure.
it's on Paramount Plus, so no matter what, it's gonna
Yeah,
be
it doesn't
okay.
matter.
Yeah,
It's already.
yeah,
it's
they
done.
already made it. No one's buying Paramount Plus to watch Beavis and Butthead.
8, 7,
But it's
It
nostalgia.
does not hold up.
5, 4, 3, 2.
I don't know. Cornholio still makes me laugh.
Ignition.
I'll watch this.
Yeah.
I'll watch it with my daughter too.
I don't know. There's some stuff in it. I don't
Fart
know.
jokes crazy.
The Earth sucks.
Okay, I'm out.
Stupid.
I'm out.
It does not hold
I
up.
will not watch it.
It's not even funny at all.
I'm not gonna do it.
Like there's some things like I don't even think it's well written. Right?
I don't even think Mike Judge thinks it's well written.
Yeah.
I think
King
it
of the
knows
Hill.
it.
I watched that yesterday. That's pretty damn good.
Is it well written?
Yeah,
Yeah, but
King
they have
of
some
the-
funny jokes.
King of
Yeah.
the Hill's still pretty damn funny.
I prefer Dario over King of the Hill.
Now was Dario considered a Mike Judge product?
Yeah, it was
I
because
didn't
they were
know
all
that.
connected. Yeah, Beavis and Butthead was first, then Daria, then King of the Hill.
The thing is, with King of the Hill, there are characters like the characters in King of the Hill in real life that we can kind of relate to, and we're like, oh yeah, that's like my Uncle Randy. He does, he's
You didn't know two potheads that were just like Beavis and Butthead?
not that.
I
not like that.
definitely did.
They've reached a point of like
It's-
they can't function as humans, right? Like we look at them and then we're like, what the hell are these guys?
Yeah.
What they're doing, I'm not like, oh, that's just like my buddy does. Like, it's too exaggerated. There's nothing I can grab a hold to. It's stupid. Like funny for kids. Like I laughed at it when I was 12.
I don't think I ever really laughed at it. I think I just went along with it because everybody else went along with it.
It was inappropriate as a kid.
Yeah.
That's why I liked it. Like they
Oh,
were
my
licking
dad
toads.
hated. We bought a shirt that had Beavis and Butthead. He's like, "You're not wearing a shirt that has Butthead on it." I'm like, "Really? That's your line?"
I wasn't allowed to have a Beavis and Butthead shirt.
Yeah.
I got one from my Uncle Billy one time.
That's pretty awesome.
But it was
Uncle Billy.
but it was a big. Like, it was the one
3XL.
It was 3X, like long tall tee. But it was Tommy pull my finger.
Yes.
And they were dressed in like
in like Tommy
Kind of like the
Hilfiger.
Looney Tunes
Yeah,
when they
yeah.
were just like
Yeah,
Tommy
yeah.
Hilfiger and stuff
Did
like
they
that.
have
yeah.
beepers on there?
Yeah,
Yes.
it was like that. It was Beavis and Butthead. Tommy, pull my finger. Big shirt with a Blockbuster video coupon.
Yes.
And then I was embarrassed for him.
my
And he gave it to me because I was like 15. So I was like, I've already touched it. And now you're giving me this.
Oh my god!
You know what I mean.
No, I don't. It can be
so
lots
yeah.
of things.
Anyway,
Slow it down, Deshaun Watson.
Jesus Christ.
Beavis and Butthead is stupid.
Ugh.
Who is gonna like? Okay,
I'm gonna watch it.
You always say who, but like everybody
There's
except for
hardcore
you.
fans.
There's
Everybody
people that
but you
watch
is the
it, yeah.
answer.
But it's like for instance, they did a remake of the.
Well, they rebooted this as a show.
Yeah.
And people
Beavis and
seem
Butthead
to
was
like
on
it. I
there,
mean,
yeah.
I didn't watch it. It's not my thing, but people
Yeah.
liked it. If you were a fan of it, you probably liked
Like
it.
I'm not gonna go out of my way
they
to go
like it?
see it,
I
but
thought
because
it-
I have Paramount Plus and watched, I'll watch it.
I
yeah.
kind of thought it was considered a failure when they rebooted it.
All I
It
know is
did.
I saw people that were watching it saying
Yeah.
good things about it. But they said it was
Oh.
exactly the same as it was back in the day. So if you liked it back in the day, you'd like it now.
See, I got a lot of
don't know.
negative. I got a lot of people that were like, "It's not worth your time." So I never went and saw it. So
the like the Rescue Rangers reboot that they did.
That was amazing.
I liked it. Yeah.
everybody says it's great.
Yeah, if you watched it back in the day, Rescue Rangers movie is fantastic.
And because the
And there's so
writing
many
is
Easter
good.
eggs. Yeah.
It's just like Sonic the Hedgehog 1 and 2, great movies,
Yeah.
right? Like the writing's good,
They
the
are
acting's good. It's like in Beavis and Butthead, I don't know. Is again, who was lobbying? Like, I wish they
Mike
brought
Judge,
back.
he needs that extra paycheck.
You know what? You know what the turn was for me, and this just shows like I'm an empath, or maybe I'm just a sensitive, emotional type person. But I can remember watching Beavis and Butthead, and I knew it was something that was popular with like maybe a little younger than me, But Stewart, the neighbor, when they
Yeah,
would bully
when
him,
they were mean, he had
it
the
would
winger
bother
shirt on.
me. I'd be like, "Oh my god, why are they?"
The fact that I remember
cause
that his shirt was winger.
maybe I was sympathetic to it because I was bullied, as being like a little guy, like growing up short. You get teased incessantly. And I definitely could identify to Stewart and his winger shirt and the fact that they would always go over and like I feel like they were just
They'd break his
unnecessarily
TV or something like
mean
that.
to him.
Yeah.
And it bothered me.
Yeah, I can see that. Definitely.
Like I feel like they should have I feel like they're like Stewart's dad, who I don't think was a thing, should have like instantly started beating them up in the front yard.
Yeah, he didn't deserve the being
No,
bullied
he
at
did
all,
not
for sure.
deserve any
no,
of it.
if he was a bad person, it would be
Stewart
fine.
was a sweet
Yeah.
boy that was bullied. You know, like nowadays they would have carried this online, and Stewart may have killed himself.
What
You know, Mark Merrill fights to save kids like Stewart from being bullied by people like Beavis and Butthead, and it's a good thing because they were rude to him.
Did you guys ever play the Beavis and Butthead Sega
Video
Genesis
games? Yeah.
video game?
Yeah, it was a
We were
good
trying to
game.
get tickets to
Sega.
Guar. Yeah,
Yeah.
That was a good ass game.
That was a good game.
But when you made it to the end,
Oh, it's disappointing for sure.
yeah. It's like, like I wanted something more.
Well, somebody told me, and tell me if this was what like. There were always like legends of beating video games that people would say. Like I was told, and tell me if you heard this. I was told when you beat that game that there was a secret Guar concert, the full concert that you could watch that included nudity.
I heard that too, but
That included nudity.
Yeah.
So of course we tried to beat it,
Yeah.
right? And then we get to the end of it, and there's no concert,
just a
there's no
letdown,
nudity.
yeah.
Oh, you didn't get the right copy.
You
was
didn't
what
beat
we-
it
No, you
the
didn't
right
get
way?
the right version. No,
Oh,
you didn't
okay.
get the right. Or did you put in the code ahead of time? There were tons of games where kids would lie about what you would get if you beat it.
You know what? Like you see every once in a while, like the person that voices Bart Simpson's
Nancy
voice.
Cartwright?
Yeah.
The
Or
lady,
like
yeah.
famous voice, but I never see Beavis or Butthead.
Mike Judge.
Mike
Oh,
Judge,
it's his.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He does the voices.
Oh, I didn't know that. There it is.
You learned
Does he
something
do
new
them
today.
all?
I think so.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think
it's
so,
like
yeah.
the whole. It's all
Yeah, it's
him.
kind of like Seth MacFarlane does most of the voices on Family Guy.
but not all
God,
of them.
Seth MacFarlane.
He does so many though. Like he's also Ted.
Well, that just shows you like
Singing the
the
Thunder
two
Buddy
main
song.
characters can't be done and voiced by the same person. What other scenario does that happen?
I feel like a lot, but I can't think of anything off the top of my
know.
head.
Not the
Yeah.
two
Must be
main.
wrong.
Like
Because-
Rick and Morty is done by two different people.
It
I'm trying to
is.
think of what
I guess
famous
Family
ones.
Guy,
yeah.
like the baby and the dad,
Stewie.
is
Yeah.
Seth MacFarlane,
and the
but,
dog.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
dog.
there's three of them that are that, and then the mom is done by someone else, and so is the daughter. And
But it's
Seth
all
Green does
Beavis
the
and
son.
Butthead talking to each other. Like there's no
Yeah,
other,
that's
you know.
it.
So like there's not really even
It was
any
really
other voice.
like the adventures came after the fact, right? Like it started with them like commenting on videos.
Yeah.
And then it kind of spiraled into this, like they go on adventures. So you'd have like the video vignettes that would like kind of break up their madcap adventures, like when they're in the ROTC room or when they're doing driver's ed or when frog
Or
baseball or,
Or
any of that.
throwing the hamburgers into the ceiling fan.
Right.
They can't do any of that same stuff, right? Because of current day times, like
I don't know. I don't-
people.
Frog baseball's out.
Yeah,
No, of
definitely
course,
out.
yeah.
Yeah,
or
for
any
sure.
vandalism. I guess some vandalism is fine.
Well,
but
throwing a hamburger into a ceiling fan is what Mr. Beast does most of the time.
Yeah,
Anyway, so
well,
Does
yeah.
he do that?
licking frogs to try to hallucinate, like that's out.
That's
Like,
out. Yeah, anything that can be say you're messing with the youth, they're not gonna let them do that. Yeah.
Like making fun of people for certain things, you
Yeah.
know, like
Disabilities?
the looks,
Yeah, they're not gonna do
disability,
that,
like
yeah.
all like, you know.
Did they do that? Were there like Beavis and Butthead were
I'm-
making fun
in
of
the 90s? I'm
handicapped
sure
people?
something.
pretty sure they did, yeah.
I don't remember them making fun of handicapped people.
Yeah, dude, even Simpsons jokes in the 90s. I'm like, whoa. You watch an episode from the 90s of The Simpsons,
Yeah.
and you're
Yeah,
like,
but it's still like if you watch Bob's Burgers, like they'll skirt the lines.
Yeah, they'll
because
get as
it is
close
geared
to
more
line,
for
yeah.
adults than children.
And
no, but
Gene-
I'm talking about like the Simpsons from the 90s will do like will like do the equivalent
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
calling someone gay.
Yeah, they will.
You know, or like a sissy if they
Yeah.
are effeminate, or you know, things that you could never
But
get
it's
away
usually a character that is not a good person. It's usually like Moe or Grandpa Simpson or
with.
something
Or the
like that.
bullies, but still,
Yeah,
you
the bullies,
couldn't.
yeah.
No current day cartoon is calling someone gay.
No.
You know,
No.
they were doing in The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway.
But it's also a different time.
No,
Of course,
100%.
yeah.
No,
yeah.
it's shocking sometimes when you see something 25 years later. You're like, oh wow.
To me, I don't know
Makes you laugh a
about
little.
I don't know about you, Sam, but on
Well, no.
No, it's
bad.
in his
I'm
heart.
just saying it makes you laugh because the
It
current day
doesn't work.
times.
Yeah, you couldn't do this now
it
for
certainly
sure.
doesn't make you laugh because at your core you find it entertaining. Certainly not. Gene, for me, on Bob's Burgers has the lines that if they're going to fly
he's
some things
great.
over your head,
Oh, yeah.
that dude will straight up drop some adult bombs on your head. And before they've already moved on by the time you're trying to.
You're like, what?
Yeah,
oh my
you're
God.
like, what did
Yeah.
he say? And then they've already moved on to a whole new scene change.
Yeah, that's the way Archer was, too, with a lot of their stuff.
But Gene is my boy.
Like when you saw her talking about Johnny Bench earlier this week, was it? No, it's tomorrow
Yeah.
on Weird
Oh,
Job
that's
Wednesday.
what they called you in college.
No.
Oh, wow. Look
No,
at that. Still got it. We got a regular Mike Judge over here, everybody.
You do sound like Beavis. Okay. Last thing I got to talk about is Wednesday. They're going to do the female Wednesday Addams. They're doing a show Tim Burton is doing on Netflix, and I'm really interested. They're having Catherine Zeta-Jones is playing Morticia, and Louis Guzman's playing Gomez as the parents. And it seems like the story is kind of like she goes to a new school, and it's adult Wednesday.
So it's
not,
Vampirina.
It's kind of, but more X-Men. Like she started to get psychic powers, and like there's a murder at the school is the basis plot they're kind of pushing right now. So my wife loves Wednesday Addams. Like Christina Ricci is still like watching the movie, the Addams Family movie, is still one of our favorite things to do on Thanksgiving.
Cute.
Have you seen the porno?
Yes.
Is it Casper?
No, Addams Family porno.
No, I have not.
Every once in a while.
Do they have just a hand walking around?
No.
Cousin Thing and it?
Or is it just a dilder?
No, it's the whole cast.
Yeah,
and
Pugsy.
Yeah,
and
Wednesday.
Pugsley. It's Pugsley.
Pugsley.
And then when I'm watching Wednesday, I'm like, was she underage? I can't remember. Right?
They're both children.
Don't ever watch a porno that you have to question, is she underage?
No, the parody.
Children. That's why Elastigirl is also off limits.
Oh, man.
In the parody, she's not underage. It's a legal adult. No. But I'm saying she's playing Wednesday, and I'm like, Wednesday is with the sloth
Have
uncle.
you seen the
Uncle
Up?
Fester?
Have you seen
He's festering it.
Have you seen the Up porno parody? Up?
With the old man balloon?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
There's an Up one?
Yes.
Hold on, what character?
I'm
There's a
looking
whole-
into that
And don't
one.
tell me who's the Doug the
Well,
dog.
good
Doug
thing-
the dog comes in, he's got the talking thing on.
Good thing Up, the wife couldn't get
there's
pregnant, so he's
look
good.
For that. Look for the Up
There's an
porno.
old man, a fat kid, and Doug the dog.
Yes. I'm telling you.
What else is in there?
Watch the Up porno. And maybe the corpse of his one. She dies early on.
No, there's a bunch of corpses.
She dies
Is
early
there
on.
balloons?
Yeah, there's balloons. Yeah,
Is the bad guy in it?
big balloons.
All right, we gotta get out of here. EJ,
Oh,
what
my
do you
God.
got to promote? Anything?
Nothing really. I'm just doing Twitch on Tuesdays that I'm not here.
Don't
so
promote
definitely
that.
come
It's sad.
back. Well, I need
That's
some
like,
help.
That's like
Someone
come
help
see me at the farmer's market.
Someone help me get it better. I need a laptop probably to do it instead
Oh
of
my God, you don't have a laptop. What are you
Someone
doing?
help yourself, Johnny Bench. That's
That his new name now.
Don't call me Johnny Bench. This is a whole joke about his fingers being really fat.
Yeah, but he saw the look of worry in your eyes when he said that joke, and it landed well. So I have a feeling your name has been changed. I'm just going to throw that out there.
All right, we're gonna take a break. We'll be right back with more corporate time.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time.
So, what is the story?
Well, I'm sitting in there, I go in the bathroom, and I get a news update while I'm washing my hands from ESPN that says that the head coaches of our Orlando Pride have been put on administrative leave because of alleged bullying and harassment. I think that's what it said.
Yes.
Is that accurate or
That
fairly
is
accurate?
accurate. I guess this investigation's been going on since October of last year.
Yeah, they've been a bit of a mess.
They must have found something to suspend them, right?
It's
That's what it sounds like.
So let me, because I have no idea, and this is coming from a place I don't know the story. So let me preface that. Right?
That's fair.
But
we don't know the details on this.
Is there any and we'd have to talk to like a coach about this because there's different coaching styles.
I still got Tom Sermani's number. We could give him a buzz.
Like, so obviously, if you're in basic training in the Army, and I'm going somewhere with this, I know this is ridiculous.
I know where you're going.
But it's like if you're a drill sergeant, like your job is to put the people through a tough time, right? And so you're yelling at them, you're mean to them, like that's the stereotype.
Well, you might have a
You're trying to
style
break
for
them
your
down.
system, right?
Yeah, and you're trying to break them down to build them back up.
No, this is very much retaliation. So from what I'm reading is it seems as if maybe some of the players filed some complaints about certain things going on within the company, and out of retaliation, the coaches have been doing things like bullying, harassing.
Right. And so now it'll be up to...
Well, that's
So it's a-
unprofessional.
yeah.
Right.
Like,
Then
if
it'll
it's
be up
part
to
of
the
your-
court to determine whether or not it was
That's what it
actual
seems like.
retaliation or whether or not they're
It was
being
hard
sensitive
coaching.
to it.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah, which is hard, probably hard to differentiate because on the coach's end, even if you like, I would defend my behavior where I was like, I'm trying to be hard on my players to teach them a lesson or like build them up or whatever the hell,
Right.
because some coaches are just like, they're D-heads to their players or to the ones they need to be D-heads to.
I've seen the movie Whiplash.
And there's a now, as long as your intent is to help them, if your intent is to be a D-head,
Well, I think
and
that's what
hurt
they're going to
them,
get to the bottom of. Like,
How do you
why
know,
were
though?
you doing this?
Could you? But that's your opinion, right? Like, if they're the coach, you could be like, I do this.
I mean, I guess
to
at
certain
some
players and
point,
certain-
but what I imagine they'll do is they'll like line it all up, and then they'll probably interview everybody that was a part of it, and then they'll take a consensus of, what did the team think? What did everybody in the behind the scenes, the staff think?
Yeah.
Like we've worked with a couple of coaches I can say that we worked hand in hand with, like seeing them and that had different styles would be Adrian Heath of Orlando City and let's say what's his name? Jason Christ of Orlando City. Both those guys, completely different style. Jason Christ was very quiet. Didn't really say much to his players. They just kind of did their thing. Adrian was a tougher coach. He'd mix it up. He'd get in your face. I firsthand saw him. He would organize things his way, very hands-on, a lot different than other players. So there is some truth to what you're saying, but based on what Samantha's saying, this sounds pretty bad.
Yeah.
Because if it's just what we normally think of as coaches yelling at players or making them do things for punishment or that kind of thing, then guess what? Like, that happens throughout all sports. And like, if it got to the point where they're suspending them, then something more, or at least they speculate, then more was happening.
What it seems like, you've got coaches that are considered like really tough coaches, like Jose Mourinho. Like, that guy's like considered probably to be like the biggest a-hole that has ever coached soccer. But I don't think they've ever put him up on like a investigation of bullying. You know what I mean? Like, there is a difference, is what I'm trying to articulate here. Like that guy known for being like outspoken, having rivalries, not being the nicest individual, but I don't know if he's ever been investigated for like quote harassment or bullying or.
Well, it's like it all.
What are the terms they use? I just want to get it right. So I'm not.
Hold on, let me find the.
It's
quote
the
again.
intent that matters. Like, when I teach my sons about bullying,
The
like,
decision came at the recommendation of the National Women's Soccer League and the NWSLPA, which has been conducting an investigation into, quote, alleged retaliation in violation of the NWSL policy to prevent and eliminate workplace discrimination, harassment, and bullying.
Yeah, that's bad.
now, of course, like, investigation is still happening, so it doesn't mean anything yet.
No.
But but it's like, what's the intent? And then probably we already know, at least is what some of the players think, right? Is the intent wasn't to help you. Because that's what a coach's to a player's relationship is supposed to be. Everything you do should be the intent to help this player get better, right? Yeah. And if it's not, then you got a problem. Now we're like, well, what are you doing here? Because you are the coach's role. Sometimes tough love plays into it, and it's like you're tougher on a player that you need to be, but your intent is always to help them. Yeah. If your intent is to make them feel bad because of retaliation, that's a whole different thing.
Which is different than tough love, because there have been plenty of players that will later say, "Hey, I didn't enjoy being coached by X because his style just didn't fit with me." Maybe you don't like the rough around the edges tough coach. I don't know how much a sport you played growing up, but I always gravitated to the meaner coaches. Like
I like meaner coaches.
I was not mean. I don't know how to even say, more direct. I don't know.
I actually am the opposite. It's funny because every year when I played the COE golf tournament, this year I was playing with Tommy Gilligan. Yeah, and the nicest man in the world.
He's the nicest man in the world.
And I'm horrible at golf. I hit it all over the place. I sometimes can't hit it. Get
it's okay,
too drunk.
buddy. You'll get it.
I'm horrible. and Tommy was giving me like he was giving me pointers.
Buddy, I mean, why don't you take
He
your
did
butt
that
out
to
of
me
it?
at Drive Shack.
But he was being nice.
I know
and
why
me,
he
like,
did it to you.
He's like, you
because he knew I had terrible form.
and he's like, he's like, you'll get it next time. Like he was being encouraging and supportive.
Like
How
your
was it-
cheerleader.
How was it
Aw.
working for you?
No. And I was like, stop doing that. Like I don't respond well.
for you.
No, I
Tell
don't.
him how bad he is, Tommy.
I don't respond well to encouragement. I respond better to insults and
crow's feet.
bullying.
Do you
Crow's
do that to
feet.
your children?
No.
No,
Everything they do is amazing.
Well, because I'm an enabler to my kids, and I can't make them better. Even if if tough love, I'm not good at tough love. Like I'm not good at being tough on them.
You're not good at love.
Tough
You're not good at
on
tough
them.
or
Not
love.
to even mention love.
But I would respond better to someone being like, "What the hell are you doing? You're horrible. Like you're hitting it hard. Like you can't even hit like." If someone and
All
then
right, I'll use that for later.
Yeah.
yeah.
He likes to get his grapes stomped in the
Yeah.
bedroom. This guy. He's like, hey, Crow, tell me what I did wrong today.
Tell me how bad I am at this.
Well, I like people being hard on me and like pointing out my mistakes and insulting me will make me better.
Well, no, I mean, like maybe telling you what you're doing wrong, I can see that, and maybe forcefully telling what you're doing wrong, but insulting you is should not be in there.
No, I like that.
He
Yeah.
likes it.
Humiliating
He's into
you
it.
should not be in there.
Because
That's his kink.
It's teaching me a lesson about it. Like I shouldn't be so bad at whatever I'm doing.
So I should start humiliating
So
you.
you
I
call
think so.
me.
I think that's what we got to start
I start
doing.
pulling your pants down in business meetings.
Yeah, if you're mean. No, it's got to be warranted. Like I have to do a bad job. You can't just humiliate me for
Oh,
nothing.
well, first of all,
No.
you'd have to start doing a good job.
Yeah. I like to be humiliated. I respond better to it. Anyway, this is not a good look for them, though.
Well,
No, it's
they've
not.
also been powering. Pardon me. They've been powering through coaches. So it'd be nice if they got somebody.
The whole
in-
league's under investigation, by the way.
it's a mess.
Because, there's been a lot going on, I guess, with a lot of other, teams as well. So people are getting fired, resigning. Like, it's all over the place.
I got a couple voicemails if you want me to weave them in here for you, buddy.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's try. Remember when we were talking about Saturns?
The car.
The car,
Yes.
not the actual
Not,
planet.
Seth,
the car. Yeah, here we go. This is more Saturn talk.
Hey everyone, BDM in Western North Carolina again here. Hoping you never play my messages because I never want to hear my voice. Talking about Saturns, man, I had a Saturn. It was a good Saturn. Saturn View. Had a V6 Honda motor in it. So it was a little SUV with the GM body on it, but the motor was the Honda V6 that goes in the Honda Accords. It's bulletproof. It'll last 100 years. I drove it for about 200,000 miles on it. Never really do anything besides change the oil in the air filter. Like I take care of it, and by that I mean I don't take care of it. And nothing ever went wrong with it, ever. Except for the ignition was a little funny. Anyway, I sold it to a lady that was helping take care of my grandfather for $500, and she drove it for another 60,000 miles. I don't know how she took care of it, but can't imagine she did. But she got another 60,000 miles of it, like hard, like quickly, within a couple months. But the Saturn Views, man, good, cheap car.
Yeah, this guy, we've had nothing but, I haven't had one person write me and say Saturn was a bad car.
Me either.
Every piece of advice that I've been given was if you can find one for cheap, buy it. It will run until you decide to get rid of it.
Yeah, and you remember the days where you could buy a car for like $500 or $1,000, and it was like, you could find an old junker for around that price range.
Yeah, I think my first car was like $1,500.
Yeah, it was like in the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s.
My first car was $600.
It was before the internet price fixed everything. You know what I'm saying? Because once you could advertise your car on the internet, all of a sudden you're marketing it to a gigantic audience. Before it was like your neighbor would buy it or someone that you knew would buy it for a couple $100, but you would want to get more, but it was just like, oh, this guy will buy it. My neighbor bought my old truck for $400. Like, I didn't even realize you could scrap it for that
Oh,
price.
yeah.
You know,
They'll
like,
come pick it up for you.
Yeah, for $400. But it was like it was like early 2000s, and the internet was new, and there was not really Craigslist per se.
You don't see many kids driving around mismatched boats anymore or anything.
Or cars with different hood colors.
Yeah, like
It's
for
rare.
me, all of my friends had large, because I think most parents, I'm 45. I'm about to turn 46. Most parents of my generation would buy their kids like big, like Volvos or Lincoln Continentals or, a Crown Vic, or like these mismatched big, like heritage American cars, because I guess they assumed that they were safe. Then you'd see a lot of trucks, and the number one car that girls drove at DeLand High School, probably is still the same way, was the VW Jetta. Everybody had a goddamn Jetta. It was like Jettas, but you don't see, like, a lot of my friends had old police cars, like old Crown Vics. We had, like, DeLand, notoriously, everybody had a white Crown Vic.
You can get them from the car auctions.
Like,
for
my
cheap.
first car was an 82 Rabbit. My second car was an 89 Bronco. These are, like, you don't get kids that have I don't even know what, kids aren't getting cars, right? That's just not a thing now.
Not when you're like first turned 16. It's not the rite of passage it used to be.
Yeah.
And like you got a car.
It's not a thing.
Yeah. I remember like my first car was my dad's truck.
I think that's cool.
That that my mom held on to until I turned 15, and she gave me the keys, and I was like this thing, and I got my learner's permit, and then
What was your first car, Sam?
It was a GMC Jimmy.
Oh, so you had a
But
big one too?
I had to pay for it. Nobody bought me a car.
So you had a decent size, like a mid-size SUV.
Yeah.
Well, it was impossible to get around without one. Now with the Uber, Lyft, or whatever.
Oh man, I had to ride so many city buses before that.
The
Terrible.
buses, yeah.
Let's try this one. This guy seems to think you have a problem with teaching.
Hey, Tom and Dan, it's Jordan from New York. Calling in because I was just listening to the BDM show. And Tom was talking about how his kids and his wife won't listen to anything he has to say about how to do some sort of activity properly or better. And let me tell you, I've been married for 10 years, and my husband will not hear a word from me when it comes to how to do something. And I try so hard to not say something, but when you see somebody holding a GD tennis racket wrong, it's impossible. And he's like, oh, I just want to have fun. You make it no fun when it's all about how to do it properly. And I'm like, you're holding the tennis racket upside down.
He's mad. He's mad at his husband.
Let him have fun.
No, I mean, there is a...
Yeah. Do you want to do it right, or...
No, I want to have
now
fun.
You sound like me, and I say that all the time.
You
I'm
guys are the same person now, by the way.
we are blending. There's been some blending
I
here.
talk to my friends, and they do the same thing with their kids, where they won't listen to the parents. They'll listen to other teachers and other people and strangers, but never the parents. So it must be a thing where you just don't listen to your parents, your spouse.
They're already going through the rebel phase at 7 and 8.
Oh, Maisie, as I say that to Maisie, I use what you're
saying. They don't care. They're like, yeah, I know.
Get out of here, old man.
Do you do this one? I'll do this one. I'll go like, well, you're not listening at all to us right now. Do you listen to your teacher? Yeah. Do you act like this at school? Yeah. Well, maybe I should just get the, my class dojo here and fire off a message to your teacher. And ask her if you act like you're acting right. No, don't do that.
Oh.
And I'm like, does your opinion of your teacher matter more than the opinion of your parents? Because I always use that I'll fire off one to your teacher.
My sons know I don't even know the name of their school. So, and then when you said class dojo, I thought you were talking karate.
No, I'm not. It's a app that you can see your children's progress.
No. All right, bye-bye. Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Let's do some emails.
Woo, I'm sweating my pits off. Got to figure out what's wrong with the AC here.
I'll text.
You've been
American
saying that for 2 weeks
I
now.
know.
Can you just text
dude,
them already?
it did it again.
It started working.
It's offline. No, it's
offline
again. It's offline again. Every day.
It almost blew out our power yesterday.
Yeah, every day around this time, our air conditioner shuts off.
Don't leave it up to me, because
you're not.
Yeah, someone help.
me-
Help!
It's got hold on, we got an E7R code, whatever that means.
I think that's what it said yesterday as well.
Yeah.
Something with the wires not being hooked up properly.
Select your issue. Oh my God, this is bad. Is this going to burn our place down?
Yeah.
Not our place.
That's
What I
true.
care.
That's true. I know, me neither.
Do you have insurance or
Nah.
renter's
What?
insurance?
Insurance
Oh,
for what?
boy.
What am I going to insure?
All
Place is a
right.
hellhole. First email.
MRI stuff. Hey guys, BDM Magnetman here. Sorry, that was hard to say. Magnetman.
That is hard to say.
They made you change because a lot of clothing nowadays has metallic threads inside of it. This can cause signal voids in the images as it affects the magnetic field.
So it's all these grandmas wearing the shiny tops.
Yeah, it's like tinfoil thread.
Yeah, like a good grandma top, a sequin top.
This type of clothing may also heat up while you're in there. Your wedding ring being gold or silver isn't ferrous.
Platinum.
So the wand would not pick it up.
Mine is gold and platinum. This platinum's the same sort of thing, I'm guessing.
But if it
I
was
would
like,
assume so.
Iron or whatever, steel, people have steel wedding rings.
Why?
or-
Why do they have steel? What are they, one of those Viking people that you're still wearing your
I think my
bracers?
husband's is like tungsten or
Tungsten.
Oh, the old tungsten.
Yeah.
But then he also bought those silicone ones too.
No, yeah.
Yeah, those are for sailors.
The
rings. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
I didn't know what you're talking about.
yeah, that's for like so you don't
It's
get
for CrossFit guys, so they don't. I don't want to get my ring caught in while I'm doing a box jump, rip my finger off. I'm the best at exercising.
I do get a callus on my ring finger.
I know where that's from.
No, well, from like when I hold dumbbells or whatever, like it calluses up my ring.
You gotta take the ring off.
They are your sons, sir. I'm doing dad jokes all day. When you
I like
hold
it. It
dumbbells.
made me laugh.
Yeah, it did make you laugh. I haven't made you laugh in years. My God, he's back.
Nah.
I lost him again.
Lost him. Quick.
I did a dad joke to Jack at iHeart when we went there for our meeting, and then I was like, I gotta go to the bathroom, and like, and then I did the old. I don't know why I did
What'd
it.
you do?
I did the old like something. What was the joke about carrying heavy weight?
Long, hairy, and hard to carry?
No. Something about like
Yeah, when
like-
somebody goes, how you doing? How's it hanging? Somebody will say, I'd go long, hairy, and hard to carry.
No, it wasn't
you know.
that. It was something about like hurting my back or the size of my
Oh,
genitals.
like when
all
you're
that.
in there, when you're in the bathroom
What?
peeing and somebody else. Okay, when you're as a man, if you're peeing and another man is peeing,
Mm-hmm.
my dad used to do this. My dad and I had a joke. When like I was of age, I'd be like, "Oh, water's cold."
Oh, that's the long.
too.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
dad would say deep too.
Yeah,
Oh,
I know
okay.
that one.
And that was our
Familiar.
way of saying we love each other in the bathroom. Perverted love.
Sorry, email.
Oh, this one says, this is BDM Shart Locker Shart Week Year 2 winner.
Yeah, this is the guy in the military that won Shark Week.
Yeah, he was out of Hawaii. He's now in Stinky, Texas. That's according to him. Tom mentioned
Texas
on
is
ACT
fine.
that he thought there would be barely one person who has killed a person, either on purpose or accident. I believe he is vastly forgetting about the atrocities of the past 2 decades and the amount of BDMs who have fought during the global war on terrorism.
Oh, yeah.
Without putting a number on it, I personally have a stellar kill-to-death ratio.
Okay.
I'm certain there's at least 1 to 2 others in my same boat. # more killers than Saturns.
Oh, my
By the way,
God.
I did get a few messages from people who have accidentally killed people, whether it be car accident or other things.
I would say we're not going military because it's sort of
Yeah, yeah,
assumed
yeah.
that if you're like zeroing in a
Yeah,
missile on a installation, that I'm assuming you're not doing that for fun. You're doing that to kill some bad guys or something. You know, that's what you do.
Yeah. I was more referencing the murder, civilian murder.
I
than
want
like
more like a.
or like did the
I was
people
looking
that
for
messaged
like
you
a
they
Stephen Curtis Chapman kill somebody.
was
scenario.
it their fault they accidentally killed, or was it just a car accident and the other person happened to die and it was one of those?
I mean,
you know-
I'm sure they vary, but you also said that you thought even accidents were, and killing somebody in an accident was probably only one listener. You do a
Yeah.
lot of extremes in your scenario.
Yeah, he's an extremist.
Well, I mean, how many people have killed someone by accident? Multiple?
I've had multiple messages.
Can we
Yeah,
interview
that-
those people? We'll give them fake names.
It seems though like you rarely, like I don't know anybody in my life or
My dad
friends or
did.
whatever. Oh, really?
Oh,
Like,
wow.
you killed someone?
Yep.
Oh my
you know,
God.
Well, you know a lot of people that killed people. Like I know nobody, no one that accidentally killed
Maybe
anybody.
they haven't told you.
I'm racking my brain, and I do not believe that.
They would tell me.
Look, I'll put this out. If you've accidentally killed somebody and I know you, text me right now.
And in my mind, I'm thinking of like you were negligent in the accident, not like you were involved in an accident and the other person died. Like you accidentally drove drunk or
you don't
speeding
accidentally.
or
Yeah,
road
you make a
racing.
choice to do that.
You're Hulk Hogan's son and the road racing and you ran into a car. You know what I'm saying? Like you were being negligent in what you were doing, which caused the death. Anyway.
Wow. Dark. Next email.
All right. Peepholes. Hey, show. From an ACT, you guys were talking about peepholes. The stupid thing is called a peephole. Why is it even called a peephole? Well, you're supposed to peep outside,
No, I think
right?
he's saying like people. Like people.
No,
Peephole,
well,
people.
I think he's saying that it's just the name of peephole insinuates that you're peeping.
Yeah, but you're
Yeah.
peeping out to see who's knocking on your damn door.
Yeah. But I guess
So glory hole and peephole are different. Glory hole, something goes in it. Peephole, something's just looking through it.
Well, you know what? I understand what he's saying because peeping has a negative connotation to it, right? Like you never.
Not always.
No.
Because there is the delicious marshmallow treat called a peep. And then
You can always
there's...
be like, peep my profile.
Yeah, and sometimes people say like, hey, come over here and take a peep.
I guess you're right.
Yeah.
But peep does not. But peeping.
Yes.
Actively peeping.
Yes.
See, like peeping Tom.
And you're the guy. It's attached to your name.
I know.
I'm
Why
so
is-
glad that they didn't attach it to Peeping Dan's. Oh, my God.
Why is it peeping Pete?
No.
It has a better
no,
alliteration.
Because most Toms are peeping.
No, but like peeping Tom doesn't have better alliteration than peeping Pete.
I think they did the numbers back in the day, and Toms
No,
are
come
more
on.
sinister than any other name.
It should be peeping Pete.
Peeping Pete?
Yeah, it sounds better.
It's too hard to
like
say.
that guy's a peeping Pete.
Nobody says that. Then
No, but why is it peeping Tom?
Then why is it John Doe? Should it be like
The
why
most common name, I don't
is
know.
John
Doe.
and Doe? Doe cannot be the most common last name. It'd be John Smith.
There's got to be a reason it's John Doe. Maybe Doe is the least common name.
There is a porn star called John Doe, and he had a wide tuna can, and it was D-O-U-G-H is how he spelled it. I think he was fat.
Maybe it's like early internet names. You're trying to choose something that's away from everybody else. So like Doe is an uncommon name.
I'm doing the
or-
micro
I don't know.
calculations now, and I could get behind Peeping Pete. Does
Okay,
that make you feel
okay.
better?
Well,
I could get behind Peeping Pete.
Just okay. You know alliteration. Just by alliteration
It's better.
alone,
It is.
Peeping Pete or peeping
But
Tom.
I don't know, man. I'm stuck in my ways. Peeping Tom is what I've known.
Well, that's what you
Peeping
do.
Pete.
I'm just saying, before peeping Tom even was a thing, and they had a meeting about like, what do
Yeah.
we call these perverts that are
Call 'em perverts. Pervert Pete.
They're perverts. It's all P's. They're peeping perverts. Pete. Right?
Peeping pervert Pete.
Because Pete is a common name too. I would say just as common as Tom, right? Tom and Pete.
Tom and Pete.
Well, what's more of a common
Tom
name?
is more common than Pete.
But John is more common than Tom.
yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
Because a lot of people are named Peter after the Bible. so-
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and it just the alliterate. If it's no other reason, like, did you look up why
Peeping Tom?
Yeah.
why-
It comes from the legend of Lady Godiva's naked ride through the streets of Coventry in order to persuade her husband to alleviate the harsh taxes on the town's poor. The story goes that the townsfolk agreed not to observe Godiva as she passed by, but the peeping Tom broke that trust and spied on her.
Can we talk about Lady Godiva for a second? I'm glad you brought this up. I have always had a hard problem of thinking about Godiva, Lady Godiva, naked lady, horse, Godiva, chocolate, brown, lady naked, lady on horse, poop the horse. There's something there where I connect it. Like, it doesn't, why is it, I'm serious. Why is Godiva chocolate named after Lady Godiva? Or is it?
It's got to be. I mean, when other time do you hear the name Godiva?
Never heard
Except
it.
for
They were named after Lady Godiva. His inspiration came from the well-known Saxon legend.
Oh my
of Lady
God! For
Godiva.
Halloween, I'm going as Lady MacGyver, and I'm gonna be a naked man just carrying a paperclip and a rubber band, chewing gum.
So the whole like history of Peeping Tom is just like someone in that story was named Tom,
Correct.
and he looked through the window.
Yes. He didn't look through the window. He
Well, we
he
knew
peeked.
that because you too looked through the window to see.
And you've opened the door on me multiple times.
Your
in the bathroom.
friends were
the tampon window.
One
Yeah.
of your friends was sleeping with Jesse James as her husband sat on the couch, and you guys came around the back and peeped through the window, and it was you.
He also peeped on a girl that was like changing her tampon out.
No.
Whoa!
Hold
Where
on.
did you hear that?
He told the story. There's a whole show called Tampon Window.
I'll have to go back and watch that.
I don't that
Tampon
doesn't-
Window starring Peeping Tom.
That doesn't sound like anything I've ever said.
Okay. There's audio evidence.
No, I'm laughing because
Delete that show, please.
I remember saying they were young kids, and
It was our peeping age.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm Peeping Tom.
You know, when you're 13, you do stupid things.
That's
and
something
you peep on each other.
that's something to this day I've never seen, and I will die that way.
And we weren't peeping on. We just bursted through the door, like, pick the lock type of deal. And
Wow, that's far. That's too far.
was at a party. Everybody's drunk.
Hey, let's pick the lock.
Maybe it wasn't 13. I don't know.
Next email.
Remember when peeping on girls in the locker room was looked at as boys just want to have fun? Because
Well, before
that was in
that-
a bunch of movies.
before
and
that-
nobody ever.
Yeah,
they were
it's
just
terrible.
like, look at them, look.
In every 1950s and 60s, like movie or period piece where they go backwards and they're talking about like young co-eds in the 50s and 60s, what did the guys always do? They did a panty raid.
Yeah.
That was considered.
That was
like,
the thing.
Yeah, it was like you would get a ladder and you'd lean it up on the dormitory and you'd climb the ladder. You'd break into their shared dwelling while they weren't there, and you'd steal their panties and sniff them, I guess, and like put them in your stuff your pockets full of panties, and then you'd run through the town with your other bros, with your homies,
Yeah.
and you'd be like, "We got the panties." You'd be like,
Yeah.
put them over your head, shake it like a salt shaker, whatever, like you're whacking it all
And
around.
then look at them. They're just
look at these.
they're just
They're
having
just doing a
fun.
good
Yes, we're
old-fashioned-
harassing all these women. Isn't
Yeah.
it hilarious?
They're just doing a good old-fashioned panty raid.
And then also the quintessential like drill a peephole into the women's locker room.
Porky's.
Yeah, Porky's. And then the movie about
Kim
it.
Cattrall.
And like, look at them, look through the peephole.
Yeah.
It was just like,
Innocent
oh my-
boys, coming of age. Sorry.
like they're over 18. This is college.
Yeah, these
They-
guys are
this-
predators.
It's a crime.
It is.
Like a federal crime.
They
I
should
think.
be arrested.
Yeah. Anyway.
Next email.
All right. Disrepair feats. Hey, show. I was just listening to an ACT, and Tom mentioned he likes to see how long he can go ignoring a problem like your office wall drip. And now the AC, apparently.
Yeah. Well, no, it's only for 2 hours a day, every day. The rest of the time we have AC.
I'm working on several too lazy to care projects of my own.
Oh, I have one. Hold on, I have one. My pantry door. The doorknob for my pantry fell off, and now you can't open it unless, and I can't reach the tippy top because I'm too short. So I have to either get a step stool, ask Maisie to do it for me because she's taller than me, or I reach below and pull it open. And I need a big washer to put behind it so it won't pull through the door. But I'm too lazy to stop at Ace. I don't want to stop at Ace. I'm like, it's fine.
He says, our driveway wood fence/gate is probably my worst. It's been falling apart for years.
Yes.
I just keep slapping a random board on here and there to keep it together. I actually bought the new materials to replace it 2 years ago, but have yet to work on it. The queen of disrepair, however, is my mom. My parents built their house around 1980. My brother and I just replaced the original hot water tank in November, so like 42 years of use on the original tank. They changed out the heating element a few times, but pushed replacing the tank until it actually started leaking. And even then, it had been leaking for a few months. They would just keep the breaker and water turned off and only turn it on when they wanted to take a shower.
Yeah, when you needed it.
I did that when we grew up too.
Yeah.
Well, we were poor, though we couldn't afford to fix it.
Yeah, save a little money, right?
Yeah.
There are some people out there, it astounds me that how good they are at maintenance in their own house.
They're organized.
When we bought that Deltona house, the person we bought it from, the guy was like agoraphobic and never left his house. Like he was afraid to go outside. So all he did all day, every day was work on his own house. So every single thing in the house was meticulously maintained to the point where he had logs.
Yeah.
He had every single booklet.
I have all that from my previous homeowner too.
Every sprinkler was worked and was the right zone. You know, it was insane.
It's pretty impressive, isn't it?
But you know what? Like, to do that, you had to be mentally ill because you couldn't leave your nobody else could do that.
And you know I'm organized, but I don't hold on to everything, and I'm not the best at home repair. I wish I had time to do it.
Yeah, it's not because things happen like the cabinet door, right? And you're just like, I'll get to it. But there's other ways to open it.
It's not a pressing issue to me.
Or it's like, I'm sure every so often you're supposed to do something to your oven or your toaster or everything.
I think you're supposed to clean it.
Yeah, you're supposed to clean them all.
There's probably something like that for everything. Like even your TV. Like I bet you once every couple of years you're supposed to take a dust blower.
Oh, the air turned back on. Thank God.
Okay. I feel it. Oh,
it's
so good.
Fixed. Oh my God, I'm sitting here sweating. I am sitting in my.
You're like a regular EC3.
My pants are just sweat crazy.
Oh, gross.
Oh, it's gross in there.
But then there's the opposite, and the people that never do any maintenance whatsoever, and that's an odd thing too, because every once in a while, they'll you'll run into a house where nothing has been done for 10 years and it's fallen into disrepair, and you're like, man, you didn't even ever clean your gutters or something, anything.
That was like my first house in Orlando, our first studio.
Yeah,
the amount of little things that I had to do to that, like you mentioned gutters. He hadn't cleaned the gutters, so they'd pulled off because they were so weighted down with trees that were growing. So I would get up, and once I bought it, it was kind of like sight unseen. This is I'm buying this place at the height of the bubble. Years and years ago, and I'm like, you get what you get. So a lot of the stuff that was in there, I had to do myself, and I'm not that good at it. So I do my best, better than this guy.
Yeah, but at least you kept up some of it. But who does it all? Like the guy I bought the house from, or there's some people out there that keep logs. It's kind of like Andrea with just organization of your normal house. You know what I'm saying? It's meticulous, right? It's down to the last color-coded list.
Andrea is tortured, and I'll tell you why. She says she's in the chat room right now. She stays so organized, and other people start to see it, where once they see it, they know they need it, and then they will latch onto her. And there isn't a moment that goes by where she isn't getting hounded by people that need something. Me and Maisie included. We're always help, Andrea, help. And I feel bad for her. Because when you're hyper organized, I think along with that comes the burden of knowing you're just going to be a conduit for people that need organizational help. So they're you're always getting texts, you're always getting called. Again, me and Maisie are the two worst at it. We are constantly asking Andrea for help. But we're the top tier, right? Under that, there's just thousands of people that ask her for help all the time. Yeah. It sounds terrible.
It does sound terrible because no one ever asked me for nothing.
I know.
Because they look at me, they're like, I'm not asking that guy.
And I only get asked for emotional support. People go feel sad for me. And I'm I'm good at that.
Well, they just want to dump their emotional garbage on you. They don't tell me emotion or ask me for help for anything because they're like, this guy doesn't know nothing. His own life is horrible. And I'm not going to ask him for help. He doesn't know nothing.
You got another one over there?
Sure. Writing this out of love and concern for Tom's health.
No.
Hi, Villages. Hi, Show.
Hi, Villages. Oh, we're here.
Hi, Show. Villages. Tom here. I was listening to an old ACT where Tom says he's eating the cleanest he ever has, but the doctor still says he has a genetic cholesterol problem. Well, I was told the same thing years ago, and since I didn't want to be on drugs for that, I investigated my options. The American diet is completely upside down. It's funny, South Park did an episode on this where Cartman saved the day by inverting the food pyramid. According to the base of the pyramid, your diet should be heavy on bread, cereal, rice, and pasta. At the tippy top is meat, cheese, fat, and oils. You should eat these sparingly, it says. This is exactly backwards. Tom likes to talk about our caveman days and how we evolved. Well, cavemen had natural fats, meats, etc., but no bread and very little carbs. Your body knows how to process natural fats, but has no idea how to handle our modern replacement, which is why they are so bad for you. You should never eat reduced fat anything. Actually, you should be looking for the full fat version. The reduced fat replaces the fat with sugar, which is literally poison to your body. This causes an insulin spike, and then it gets stored as belly fat. You might be surprised that the attack on saturated fat was the result of one doctor who did his own study with a preconceived outcome. When he published his results, the entire media started publishing articles on how you must cut saturated fat out of your diet. This is completely wrong, and it still shocks me that one lone doctor altered the entire American diet. I lost 28 pounds by doing a high-fat, low-carb diet several years ago. My cholesterol went from 210 with very high triglycerides to 167, and my LDL improved so much that my test results now say it's considered preventative to heart disease. My brother did the same thing. He went to the doctor and was told he was developing fatty liver and his cholesterol was too high. He did the opposite of what the doctor told him and started eating the high-fat, low-carb diet. His blood numbers are so good now, the doctor asked him how he did it. His answer was, I did the opposite of what you told me to do.
Hold on a second. It's hard for me to imagine a scenario where the doctor's like, well, hold on a second. What exactly did you... Let me write this down for future people. Like, I'm not calling the guy a liar. It's just
I don't know, man.
I'm inventing this in my brain.
Doctors, I feel like sometimes don't know what they're talking about either.
Oh, well, I mean, it can be true of any human, right?
The American food industry doesn't make this easy since they cater to high-carb, low-fat, which is the absolute worst thing you can do. Everything is reduced fat, 99% fat-free turkey, reduced fat cheese, and other dairy. This is not Atkins, by the way. On this diet, you can eat fruits and vegetables. It's more like eating as close to nature as you can. There have been studies that show that this diet helps protect your brain from dementia since your brain needs fat to regenerate.
So just like lean proteins, fat, and veggies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Raw.
Long
Yeah.
email,
Raw.
but I hope
I
Tom
know.
at least looks into this.
You already do this.
Yeah.
If you give it an honest try, I think you will be surprised at how what you were told was healthy is actually killing Americans and causing the raging type 2 diabetes in this country. Everything is reduced everything, yet Americans are fatter than ever. If you really want to kill it health-wise, combine high-fat, low-carb with intermittent fasting. It's like magic.
Yeah.
There you
No,
go.
I know.
Well, thank you for your email.
I don't think I said like I'm gonna start eating carbs, no fat. I know.
No,
You don't really eat carbs.
No,
No, you
because I
don't.
know that is the sugar. It's carbs, the sugar. Don't eat that. And that's what my doctor told me. He didn't tell me any sort of diet. He just said you got to lose weight and exercise, or eat healthier and exercise. He's like, you'll be fine. And I did start doing that. I got another blood test, and my cholesterol was low.
I got a blood test.
It wasn't low, but it was lower. So
What do you got a blood test for? Just a
I don't know, to
physical?
see if I still got the weird thing going on with my iron.
Oh,
but now I have no
right.
health insurance, so all out of pocket.
Oh, God.
Awesome. This is about a dream about Busdecker. Hi, T, D, and Sam. Last night I had the strangest dream about John Busdecker. He was a middle school teacher, and I was his student, even though I was in my 30s.
Oh, he take advantage of that, just like the Police song. Young teacher, the subject of schoolgirl fantasy. You know?
Yeah, I know. My sister-in-law and I were at his bachelor pad. He wasn't married in the dream, and told her I thought I had a crush on him.
What?
And wanted to make out, but I knew it was inappropriate because he was my teacher, and I didn't know if he felt the same way. She told me we could just. She told me we could just be naked buddies and lay in bed naked together.
Busdecker said that? That sounds like him. That's on Brad. Hey, let's just lay in bed naked together. Let me put a pube on your coke.
No, I believe that was the sister-in-law saying this. We could be naked buddies and lay in bed naked together, but not do anything.
Man, why haven't I ever thought to tell somebody, hey, you want to play naked buddies?
I tell people that all the time.
Well, you never tell me that.
Peeping Tom and the naked buddies. I told her that it would be awkward and I'd rather break the ice by having sex right away than holding off.
I agree with that. Sex is a good icebreaker.
Nothing else happened in the dream besides I remember telling him he had a nice house and that he should get some white curtains and black rods. I also remember thinking he had Christmas blankets on his bed and that I should change them out for him.
Tom loves dreams.
Oh, yeah.
I know. I'm sorry.
Please don't send us your dreams.
I'm sorry to his wife and my husband for sharing this terrible and strange dream. I do not know Busdecker, nor am I a pervert.
Dream report. Tom at tomanddale.com. Send your dreams to Tom
Send
at
us your dreams.
Yeah, send them all to Tom at tomanddale.com.
It's the equivalent of telling me, like, I thought of this weird thing today. One day I was flying to the moon. And they were
not even that creative. Come on, man.
I flew to the moon, and then I was sitting there, and I had ultimate power. And then all of a sudden, my PE teacher was there, and he was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "We're on the
naked
moon,
buddies on the moon."
And then I looked around, and I'm now I'm in my middle school again, and then I'm sitting there, and then I'm naked, and just like,
you hate it. I know.
because I'm like, well, what am I supposed to get from that? What does that tell me?
Nothing.
It's just an imagination of nonsense.
Yeah,
it does. There's no value
I
to
agree.
it.
No, I know what you're saying.
It's just So you had a sex dream that's not really a sex dream about bus decker? Like,
But it must have been
Get
a
in
sex.
line.
I mean, if you're having a dream about bus decker where you're talking to each other and you say, "Hey, you want to play naked buddies?" That's a sex dream. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It means that you find them sexually attractive. But
yeah.
it's like, so does a lot of probably people, right?
Do you
good-looking bus?
Do you dream?
No.
Have you ever dreamed?
Yes, I have.
Have you? Can you remember when you dream?
Yeah, every once a year or something.
Oh my God, it's like Christmas.
It's just that, I never remember it. I try to forget it as fast as possible.
Do you dream?
Yes.
Do you remember your dreams?
Oh yeah.
Can you
the
control
past
yourself
month
in your
have
dreams?
been real bad.
Okay, those are nightmares. Can you control things in your dreams?
Sometimes.
What about your hubby? Does he
Or
dream?
I can shift the dream if I want.
Oh,
The
that's
scenario. It depends. It not all the time.
I can't control things in my dreams normally, and that's the part that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Is that I know I'm in my dream, and I can feel like I'm in my dream, and I feel like I can control it, but I can't, and I'm just going through the motions.
Yeah.
So then I want to be the hell out of there because I'm out of control.
Lately, like in the past couple years, like I will have in the dream, I'm suffocating. And I can't breathe. I'm trying to breathe,
Yes.
and then I wake myself up, and I realize that I was
That's
actually
apnea.
Yeah,
And
I
your
was
wife
actually
is
suffocating.
pretending to be asleep, but she was trying to choke you to death.
And then I'm like, like I finally when I start breathing, like heart's beating, and I'm like, I think I was really like struggling to breathe, and then it was in my dream, but I was like, I couldn't breathe.
So, but you were asleep. I do that when I'm awake. I'll be watching TV sometimes. I do this new thing called awake apnea. I'll just be watching TV and I'll find myself, and then my body will
if you get too high, you'll forget to breathe.
Yeah, my body will automatically take a huge breath. It'll be like, you got to breathe, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, how out of shape am I if I can't even be awake?
So then I'm like, but is that something to be concerned about, or not breathing?
I don't think
Yeah.
so. You wear a CPAP?
Do a sleep study.
My body will.
You don't
eventually-
snore anymore. You lost all that weight.
Yeah, I don't snore.
Me neither.
But I will stop breathing apparently. But it only
That's not
happens once every 4 months or so.
Yeah.
It doesn't not every night. And Crystal will tell me.
I think you're fine then.
Yeah,
I think
it's
you're
just
right.
a random anomaly.
Because
Where
my husband did a sleep study and they were like, it's fine. They were saying if it's over a certain amount, then you need to be worried. So if it's once every 4 months, I think you're fine.
I think random humans just randomly when they're sleeping, and it's that's how you sleep.
Yeah, it might be. I mean, I remember when I dated a girl before Andrea, and I'm not saying this to alarm her if she's listening to this, but I remember being told oh, you had a seizure in your sleep.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
Jesus.
That is the normal reaction, oddly enough. It's weird. You're like the 9th person this week when I'm telling you about my sleep paralysis seizures, where the person just bust out laughing about it. But yeah, you're the bad one.
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
I had a girl say, "Oh yeah, you had a seizure," and then I went to the doctor. I was like, "Oh, I had a sleep seizure," and then I had this old real man doctor at the time. This is before I had my wife. And he was like, "That's fine." He's like, well,
I like that.
Yeah, it's it's yes. Everyone seizes out while they're sleeping. It's
was
it's a thing.
Was it you trying to wait? Because I remember.
I think I was frothing.
Oh no!
I was frothing and whacking my arms around.
Because there was this kid
and trying to swallow my tongue.
Oh no!
Seizing.
That's bad.
When I used to,
I think that's my impression of seizing. I don't want anybody to get a wrong idea.
Or was it your body trying to wake itself? Because when I was in high school, when I used to sleep on my desk, I used to feel my body jerk myself to wake.
My wife does that.
I do that every once in a while.
I hate it when she does
It's
that.
usually I'm falling off a building or something.
Oh my God!
But I'll feel like
it's all nightmares over here.
I physically move.
Yeah.
But then I wake up and I'm like, did I physically jerk?
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah. Andrea does
so is it that?
She kicks her legs as you
or you're
I'm like, cut it out,
or
knock it off.
Can't control it.
I don't care when I'm sitting there trying to go to sleep too, and she's there with a kang, kang, and I'm like, hey.
So what did your old girlfriend say you were the stranger?
I think she wanted me to die. And I went to the doctor and I told the doctor and he told me, it's fine. You're just, it's no big deal, whatever. They did some tests.
What did she say you were doing, though?
She said I was whacking my arms around. And
did she try and wake you up?
Yeah, she said she could wake me up.
A night terror?
Might have been.
Because people have night terrors where they're
you usually can get woken up from those.
Yeah.
The ones that are the worst are the ones where people say I woke up and I could see everything around me, but I just couldn't move, and I was paralyzed.
Yeah, sleep paralysis.
Like, I don't want that.
Terrifying.
Because then people are touching you, and you can't do anything about it. They're putting a needle in your eyeball.
That happens to my wife, or used to all the time when she was in her 20s. And it happened to her at school when she was sleeping. We both weren't very good at school.
Great students.
And her eyes were open, and then her teacher was like, "Crystal, get out of like she could see the teacher talking to her, and she had paralysis.
No.
She said it was a demon.
Yeah.
That's what she used to think, and I was like, crazy.
Wait a minute, your wife has a demon too? I got the demon.
Yeah. Well, she's used to
demon.
think it used to be like her being possessed.
So when
she
did
was a
your
kid.
wife stop like just ignoring everyone around her? Like,
my wife is tortured.
Wait a minute. So she was like, what? Had her head on her hands, right? But her eyes open. She couldn't move.
And then she was.
And she's just staring at the teacher.
She was staring at the teacher.
Hey, Christopher!
Sleep paralysis. And then it used to have, like, by the way, I'm the worst husband to be married to if you want someone to be concerned about you, because I am never concerned about anything Crystal tells me. Like, I never think it's serious. She used to tell me, like, I get paralyzed in my sleep. And
I was scared for your wife at the AirT&D when she was trying to hang something up on the wall, and she like kind of wobbled a little. I'm like, "Are you okay?" She's like, "Oh, sometimes I get crazy, like vertigo." And I'm like,
"Sometimes I get crazy and I
well,
kill all
don't
my
get on
friends."
the ladder, then I'll hang it up.
I'm never concerned. I'm like, she would tell me she gets sleep paralysis or whatever. And I'm
That's
like,
fun.
The vertigo, all the stuff she has.
But what's the vig?
Yeah. She's like, my head and my lumps.
My head, my lumps, my backside, and my bumps.
And I'm just like, it's fine. You're freaking yourself out.
Yeah, all right.
Let's
keep going. Let's power through.
Right.
Yeah,
So
we got a
send us your dreams.
nice email roll. Tom@tomandan.com. Dream Analysis Tuesdays.
Hey, old man baseball. Welcome to the baseball club.
Oh, that's me.
No matter how late in life. Being born and raised here in Florida, playing ball, an 80s kid, and a diehard Braves fan, baseball has been an important part of my life for me. I know you love your tech, but be careful asking for robots to take over umpiring. This will make the game boring. The human element of it is what makes it exciting. Without the disagreements, missed calls, managers yelling, and benches clearing, it would take the fun out of it. If there's no human emotion in the game, then why watch it? This goes for all sports. Let the machines take over and it just becomes a mundane thing such as surfing the web or watching someone else's videos on social media. I guess I can see that.
I mean, I don't think VAR, though, has made soccer or even when they review a play in football, I don't see where it's like ruined the game. The game's still the game.
Yeah, I don't like when referees or subjectivity
become the game.
Yeah, because then it's like, well, the best team didn't win. A referee made a mistake.
Yeah.
And a human error caused the team to win. So what does that mean?
Yeah.
That means to me nothing matters and it's all a luck.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
That's why I don't like playoffs. I mean, like there's nothing less American than, everybody gets put into a pool. You're not even the best team, and just based on a bad day or luck or travel time, you end up failing.
Well,
that's not fair. The team that has won the most is the best team, and that's the way it should be.
The 7-game series is better than like the NFL one and done type of playoffs, right?
I
because
agree.
At least
it gives you a better representation. Yeah.
It's like
I agree.
If out of 7 games, you win the most,
one
you're
and
probably
done is
better.
not fair, especially in football, because it
makes it exciting.
Well, it does make it exciting. I'm not going to say it's not exciting, but being exciting and being fair.
Yeah. Well, I don't know any true NFL fan or analyst that believes that like the Rams and the Bengals were the best 2 teams in the NFL.
They were not.
In fact, most people say they weren't the best 2 teams. It's just they happened to get into the Super Bowl.
Not that that's what we're talking about, but yeah, I just,
Yeah. Through some unlikely events that had to do with luck. And so, but I guess that's the name of the game when it comes to like the American football.
I do understand what he's saying. I like a hybrid method, and maybe I didn't do a good job of like explaining this, but this is what I would like to see for all sports. I think it ends with the computers, right? Like you can't lie against the camera, and you can't lie against the infrared. It's picking up the speed
instant
of the ball,
replay.
whatever, instant replay. They'll be able to do that. Yeah, there should be referees on the field to handle the game and stuff like that. But if you have any calls that really do need to be scrutinized in order to speed them up, go to the tape and speed it up.
I think it's stupid that we do the one referee looks at the box with the thing
When
and
they
put
point,
and they put their head under there waiting for this guy. Just like have a team in New York, and they're starting to do this.
Yeah,
but
they do it in MLS. They're starting to do it in the NFL, especially.
Having a team in New York, a bunch of people that have access to all the equipment, and they can see the instant
They're already
plays,
drilling it down.
and have them make the call. Like as soon as the play happens, they're like, "Oh, we should look at that." The team looks at it and calls back, and they're like, "Oh, it's confirmed."
I think the NFL does a good job of that, actually. Like,
but they still do the pomp and circumstance of the guy walking over. He puts the thing over his head, so he looks.
I wonder
at
if they have to do that, just almost like beating dumb people over the head with what we're doing.
Probably, yeah.
You know, like because like I like in a time when the NFL does so much bad, I think out of a lot of sports, they are pretty quick on their
adapt.
reviewed plays. You know who's not good is the MLS. There have been times when Sam and I are watching Orlando City, and the guy he does the little finger thing for VAR, and then he goes over there, and we wait for like, what, 4 minutes, 5 minutes?
Yeah, that's stupid.
I'm
yeah.
already ready to turn the game off now. You already lost my interest.
And maybe MLS doesn't have the money. The NFL does.
They do.
You know, so it's like maybe they just throw more money at it. But
I just like the hybrid model. Keep the referees even in baseball. But if there's a question or if, because the subjectivity of certain umpires with their strike zone versus other guys, I get that that's all part of it. And then when you're going up against this particular referee, he's good to batters. Or this particular referee, he's pretty kind to the pitchers. He gives them the corners. I get all of that. I don't know. I think even the players would say, we just want it to be ultimately at the bottom line is super fair. Just keep it super fair.
And there is subjectivity, even in the NFL. Like they'll decide whether they're going to be tough on holding, like, and they'll establish like if this is going to be like we're going to make calls a lot, and we want you to stop doing it, or we're going to be loose because essentially, I think like almost every single play, someone's holding. Right, like I think it just it is,
right?
And you could call it, and it's like, well, it's kind of a hold. Like you could be harsh and call that, and then like you soon knock it out of the game, or you leave it open and let them play. And then in the Super Bowl, they usually like call less holding calls, so that the pace of the game is more exciting. That's what I kind of don't like either. It's like, well, that kind of a referee controlling the narrative of this game.
Well, that I think it was Austin FC versus Orlando City match that I was watching, and I was getting mad about it. That referee, he lost control of the entire game, which I've seen before, and then he made himself part of the game. Like he was controlling it. He's like, I'm going to give you a red card. You shouldn't have gotten one. I'm going to give you another red card. You shouldn't have gotten one. I'm going to call this a corner kick. It's wrong. The linesman was wrong. It was all wrong. And nobody was reviewing it. Yeah, and there's no recourse for Orlando City. And we're talking about a league where one game could literally make the difference of you being in the playoffs. It's stupid.
That is stupid.
It's just stupid. The MLS is, at times, a joke.
I wonder, they couldn't, like, you never see them take a referee out of the game. And I wonder if they think, like, the perception of doing that would
ruin everything.
Would make everybody want to take every referee out, right?
Yeah, you can't do that. It would set a precedent, I bet.
So, because you think if someone, like, I mean, they eject people, like, that are starting too many fights or, like, behavior reasons, like coaches, like, they'll kick them out of the game for technical. Like, you should be able to kick a referee, or like the organization be like, this referee, like replace him because he's off, right? Or he's having a bad day.
In this particular game I'm talking about, nobody really seemed to be I thought it was going to get more heat in the news. I thought on MLS.com it was going to get some heat. I don't believe that Major League Soccer enjoys having a team in Orlando. I don't think they ever have. I don't know why. I don't know what the bad blood there is, but I've always gotten the feeling that they don't like Orlando City because they never really give it the amount of shine that they give other teams. Miami, Inter Miami, they get a lot of good heat. This new Austin team, they're getting a lot of good press. We seem to always be some sort of weird red-haired stepchild of the MLS. And I think in this particular game, Schlegel, I think that was the gentleman that got the red card. I think it was like a handball or something. The call was wrong. And they never even went back to it. And then the domino effect of just everything being terrible. And the guy had completely lost control of the match. I mean, we've seen this before. And he couldn't regain control. The players were all yelling at him or running all around. Nobody said anything about it. It's a joke.
What are MLS referees? I think we interviewed one time. For
what is it called?
Soccercast.
What's their name? Pro.
Are they making like
something Pro? Is the name of their particular refereeing company?
Are they just getting paid per game, or are they on salary like the
I
NFL?
think they're salaried.
Like, are we talking about like 60 grand?
Yeah, professional referee organization.
And what's the average salary of an MLS referee? What would you guess?
Salaries of MLS referees range from $10,237 to $200,889.
Yeah, if you're making $300K.
With the middle being about 36 grand ish.
Yikes.
Well, I like
That's not that much, dude.
Who's the one making $236,000?
Is that Ted Uncle? Remember that guy? Uncle Ted, we used to call him?
Yeah.
I think he retired.
But it's like, that's a huge spectrum of money.
Yeah.
there.
It really is. My God.
I
don't.
it's
Okay,
gotta be
hold
based
on.
on the amount.
Let
of
me
your-
preface my comments. If this referee that I'm talking about, I'm getting all the details wrong. I apologize. I was watching
fine.
it, but like, if that guy was making $10,000, then he did a good job.
Oh, a year.
He
But
was
how
fine.
many games? They must
He
be
was
paid per
fine.
game or something. That's why, like, the 200-something thousand is some, like, ref that's busting his ass doing a lot of games, right?
I mean, I think it kind of starts with that, right? Like, if you want to be a league that's going to be heralded like, La Liga, like, EPL, any
Or
of the,
tickets here, yeah.
it starts with the framework, right? Just like an automobile or a building. And the framework are the rules of the game. So who is more important before you even get teams? You have to have really good rules, right? And guys that will enforce the rules. And if you don't have that, what do you have?
Is the MLS, they're getting a lot of these refs from, like, around the world, right?
No, a lot of them are
United
homegrown
States?
too.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah.
the problem. We
It
don't
kinda
know.
is.
Yeah.
But where are you going to ref if you're really good? You going to go South America or Europe? Yeah, you ain't going to U.S.
Yeah, but
why
then,
would you?
But then you would think the people underneath the best are still better than the Americans, and we should get those, right? It's like you go where the sport's the most popular because those refs have been refereeing since they were 2.
But I still think there's so many people in front of us. Like if you look at, EPL would be top tier. And then under that, you have Bundesliga, Germany. And then under that would be like Serie A. And then under that, La Liga.
So
and
all
then
the
under
refs
that,
are getting through.
Swedish league, Turkish leagues. I mean, there's so many leagues ahead of MLS. There's probably 35 leagues. Asia,
And no one really grows up to want to be a ref. So it's probably a smaller sample set of even people to choose from, right?
Yeah, that's something very interesting.
I've never met one person
Yeah,
that
that's
wanted to be
interesting.
a referee growing up.
No.
The Wizards' dad was a college football referee.
Is he still around?
No, he passed away this past year. But
that's really cool.
He refereed high school football and then did some college games and was in that referee world.
That's cool.
But I think that's the Wizards, Asperger's-y. I think his dad, he's followed the rule. They're very analytical.
It sticks in my brain. But Eric Ness of Real World fame.
Mm-hmm.
I remember his father was an NBA referee and came to visit him on the show.
It is a cool job.
It is a cool job.
It's interesting.
I'd be
if someone-
fixing games like a mug, though, man. Oh, man, if I were an NBA referee, I would be fixing all of them.
Hard to do, really.
Bill Burr was on baseball last night. I was watching baseball, and he was at the game, one of the baseball games, the Boston game.
Yeah.
And he was talking about, on MLB Network, he was talking about how he thinks the NBA is low-key fixed. And I thought that was, awesome shade.
You can't get enough money down.
I just thought
to
it was
make
funny
worth
that he
it.
was saying that on a rival sports
Yeah,
network. It was pretty
yeah.
ballsy, I thought. And they just let it fly. And he talked about how he thinks it's all scams.
It doesn't really make sense to even do it because there's not enough money you could bet to make it worth it being fixed.
Right. You're not going to be allowed to do that.
People don't understand the gambling industry is you can't bet that much money on a game to even make it worth paying off the player or the referee or any of this.
Also, Bill Burr did the thing that a lot of comedians do to us when they were on our couch, and I laughed out loud when he did it. He's sitting with the 2 announcers for this game. It was in Boston, and they did one segment with him, but it was 12 minutes, and he's doing he's talking about his special that's coming up. He's going to be the first comedian to do a live special taping from Wrigley Field.
Really?
Or is it Fenway? I think it's Wrigley. I don't know. I'm getting it mixed up. But I thought it was really, really cool. He's going to stand on the mound, I think, when he does his stand-up. And he did the thing where they were like, well, we got to take a break. And he's like, I was on traffic all the way when I drove down here. That's it? That's it? That's all I get? I was in traffic, though. I had to fight traffic to get down. And he did the thing, like, let me stay. And they did not. They were like, we're out of here. Get out of here, Bill Burr.
Hold on, you got an A-list celebrity
they were
on
like,
the couch.
Get the hell out of here.
What are you?
I laughed and I laughed. They kicked him out. They were like, well, it doesn't matter, Bill Burr. I don't care who you are.
Time is more important than the entertainment. What are you talking about? That is the most important. The quality entertainment.
They kicked him out of there.
Why does the time matter?
It was
oh, we're gonna go. Bye bye.